wasn't expecting that.
It's different. I didn't tell you I was going to do it, but I've been holding on to it for about 24 hours. No, about 18 hours. God! Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here this morning and chat with all of you. Had terrible dreams last night. The whole thing. What an absolutely crap day yesterday if you're a San Diego Padres fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I saw that you are moved in and you rode your scooter to work, and I'm so happy.
Yeah,
it's
man.
the one thing that made me happy, Benny. And Ben Higgins, quickly, is your neighborhood sports anchor. He joins us as well.
It was a no-brainer.
Easy.
Absolutely no-brainer.
I got off the elevator this morning, and we have motion-censored lights in here. And I didn't see Paulie's car, and I'd forgotten. So I walked in. I'm like, who's in our studio? Why is there somebody in our studio? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Who's in our studio? And then I walked by and I saw Paulie's scooter in the next studio. I went, oh, yes.
Just parked it in there.
So legit.
Oh, it's so much fun.
The cool thing is now at commercial breaks, I can go ride Paul's scooter around the building.
I was wondering.
around the office.
I was surprised. I hadn't seen you take it for a few laps around here.
Oh, it will definitely happen. It will definitely
That's going to
happen.
end poorly at some point.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. Me flipping over a desk, breaking my arm.
Running into a sales
Then
account exec.
Paulie's going to get the call. Hey, could you not bring your scooter to work, or like
Lock it up
at
with a
least
chain.
park it downstairs or something? It's kind of a liability at this point. How about him yesterday when you called in? Our boss, Adam Klug. He goes, I go,
What was the sequence? I was like, you said, you all right over there?
he
And
said,
then-
so I said, everyone is a little on edge with the playoff games coming, right? And he's not making it better. Imagine if you're a baseball player and your manager the whole game is going, and it's just a nervous wreck. And you're already like a nervous guy like me. How am I going to respond to that? It's not good. And then I'm like, hey, dude, are you okay? He's like, I'm fine. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, go into a foxhole
I heard.
with Adam. Go into you're sitting there. You've got your guns. You're in the foxhole, and all you hear is, could you not do that? You're like, you'd be a wreck.
Wait,
Get
did
me
you
outta
say
here.
light the dynamite wick?
Oh,
We
I
should
forgot.
get out of here.
I lit the wrong one. He ratcheted it up tenfold. To have Paulie back here, immediately I feel better. Immediately feel better about, at least the program of the day. But certainly don't feel better about yesterday's game. But Paulie, I did want to listen. 4 hours. We're going to ease into this pain today. We have to. I have to ease into it. I can't just. That's why we call it foreplay. You can't just go in dry. You know what I mean? Right away.
No.
How was your move? Really?
It was good.
Seamless?
I mean, yeah.
Not seamless?
Seamless. Really no issues.
Okay.
I mean,
It's just
look, long day, even with movers who absolutely crushed it for
Nice.
us.
Yeah. Excellent.
Even with movers, though, you're still moving a lot of things. You're
Yeah.
lifting a lot of things. You're walking up 3 flights of stairs several times. Like by the end of the day, I was like,
nightmare.
oh my God, I'm so tired. I mean, the only downfall was our Wi-Fi router was supposed to be delivered yesterday, and it was not.
Ooh.
It got
it's a
pushed to
bummer.
today.
Okay.
So I did not have Wi-Fi. We had to set up hotspots. We were just watching like Hulu on our iPads or whatever.
Yeah.
For some entertainment. But no, everything went pretty well. We just, still a ton of boxes, but just starting to unpack and turn the house into a home.
Yeah. Excellent, man. Well, I'm glad you got to do that and get it all done. At least it's a bit of a load off, right? Once you actually.
Oh yeah.
in.
Like once you got like when I signed the bill for the movers and they were gone and I shut the door, I was like,
now,
okay, here we go.
logistically, with your big ass heavy scooter, do you bring
It's
it
not
up?
that heavy.
Okay. Is it not?
It's like 35, 40
You bring it
pounds.
upstairs?
Yeah.
You do. Okay. I was
Yeah.
going to think maybe you leave it in the car.
Oh, actually, we have a garage. I leave it in the garage.
amazing.
Perfect.
Got a garage.
Perfect.
It's like a driving, like I can just flip it up and drive right out.
Any chance you guys would be willing to put a cot in there for your old pal Woodsy? Just for anything, and maybe give me the code. Just for any time I need it. if I have like a meeting and I need to go home nap somewhere, I can go to my cot.
Yeah.
They come in, I'm on my cot, smoking cigarettes, watching TV.
I'll set you up in the garage. We'll
Okay.
turn it into like a little man cave.
Yeah, Woodsy's
The Corindle Cave.
The Corindle Cave. That's right.
It's funny. My wife, she's like waiting for the day. Like she's like thinking about Halloween coming up at the end of the month. She's like, the idea of like Woods coming over and you guys in the other room, like working on costumes or something, like doing something before a show. She's like, I love it.
We have a meeting spot.
Yeah.
Yes. My wife in the chat, Hannah, says, no, Paul, do not. She also will not give me any of my own. I get no personal space. She has several areas around the house that are her personal spaces. I actually have zero. Our friends got one of those sheds and put it in their backyard.
Like a tough shed?
I don't know if
one
it's
of
a
those
tough shed. I think
metal
I don't think it's metal.
Okay.
I don't think it's plastic like the Fisher-Price ones either, but I think he has some sort of shed in the backyard that is his personal space. He can go in there. It is a tough shed. He's got a tough shed in his backyard that is his space. Now, I don't have any space. My wife, again, has one and a half. She's got 2.5 to 3 spaces of her own that I'm forbidden from. I would like some space. So I think a tough shed would be elite. Or
Polly, write down Christmas idea.
Christmas
Yes,
idea.
yeah.
Could you imagine? I show him like, how am I supposed to get this thing home?
Merry Christmas, buddy. We got you your own condo.
I need my own space, right?
Funny you say that. Okay. Tell me, I did something yesterday. I made a decision with the move.
Uh-huh.
Psychopath behavior or genius behavior? Let me know. So we have a 2-bedroom spot.
Mhm.
Our second bedroom is going to be an office,
Right?
work area, etc. Both bedrooms have nice walk-in closets.
Ooh.
I am taking the office
Genius.
bedroom
No, it's
and
genius.
using it,
Yeah.
even though I sleep and everything else is in the other room.
A lot of people do that.
That's
I'm
survival.
walking. She's like, "You don't mind walking over?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. I don't care."
It's 4 in the morning. Like, yeah.
We could either
if your wife
split.
is anything like mine, her stuff will eventually take over anyway.
Yeah.
So don't even try.
Because she goes, "Oh, what side of the closet do you want?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm just going to use the other
I'm
one."
going to the
I have
other
no
one.
problem walking over there to have everything laid out and like all my stuff in one spot.
Your own space. I would actually use that closet as a workstation. I would just open it and live in there.
Yeah, you could. Probably could.
Yeah, because again, I don't have any of my own space. So I would like that very much. But I'm glad you guys got that done. Think about the cot. Tell Megan to think about the cot.
I'll let her know.
All right,
Yeah.
let her know. Maybe we finish out the garage.
Once I get Wi-Fi, I'll be able to text you and let you know.
Make it something nice for me, hang some neon in there, just really turn it into a nice little area for your old pal Woodsy.
So JT in the chat wants to know, and I also want to know. He says, Woodsy, how was it getting the kids out of school to watch the game yesterday? That was your plan. You talked about it on the air. Going to give them a little surprise, take them out early so they could watch baseball. But that meant you were also watching that Padres game with your 2 small children. What?
It was horrible. Are you kidding?
Sorry.
It was legitimately one of the worst things I've ever done and one of the worst ideas I've ever had. So.
Is that because the game went the way it did? Or
No, it's because
didn't
of my
matter?
children.
Okay.
It's straight up 100% because of the children that are mine.
I hit the wall yesterday in the move. The movers were done with us about 1 o'clock, I think it was.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I was cashed by 2 o'clock, and I'm watching the game still on my phone. No Wi-Fi, couldn't hook it up to the TV even. Would you have rather been moving?
Yes.
Wow.
I would have rather been at the dentist. Would have
Watching on
rather-
that TV up on the ceiling.
I would have rather drank the colonoscopy juice. I would have rather attempted to put a new transmission in my car. I would have rather dug up an old stump in the yard. Right? I would have. Go pick up my youngest. So excited. I laid it out for him in the car on the drive home. This is what's happening. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. Go pick up the oldest. Hey, bud, heard you were very excited. I'm excited as well. This is what's happening. Do you understand? Yes. The minute we get home, the very second we get home,
Game hasn't even started yet.
the Guardians game is on.
Yeah.
So I watched 12 hours straight of baseball. I did not move from my home. I did not go outside. I watched baseball, which was my whole intent. I forewent the entire place to myself till 4:00. Then Bo had soccer practice. And then Taylor had music. I honestly could have gone 10:30 to 5:30 solo. But because I got a text from my friend Billy that shamed me into doing this, we walk in the door. I put the game on. Within 2 seconds of being home, I want to go ride my bike. I go, no. How long do I have to nap? I go, it's not a nap. I brought you home to watch baseball. So Bo lays down on the couch with me. We watch 4 innings of the Guardians game. It's great. I'm like, all right, this is going to plan. Taylor goes in my bedroom to watch a movie. And I'm like, you good? He's like, yes. Bo and I are watching the game. I'm like, here we go. 30 seconds before the first pitch of the San Diego Padres game, my oldest gets up, walks in my bedroom, gets in bed with my youngest. And I go, what are you doing? He goes, we want to watch Step Brothers. I go, what? And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, I go, the game's about to start. And he goes, yeah. I go, you don't want to watch it? He goes, we'd rather watch Step Brothers.
I mean, have you ever seen Step Brothers? It's hilarious.
I know, it's genius. It's genius. So I go, okay. And instead of going, it's probably not an appropriate movie for you to watch, I went, all right, go ahead. And I went into the next room to watch the Padres. So I'm watching the game.
So you've taken your children out of school
to watch movies in my room.
To watch Step Brothers in your room.
They're like, this is great.
So and
the best day ever.
I have a picture. This you got.
No stress. A1 parenting here. This is A1 parenting.
No stress or anxiety or stupid bunts in Step Brothers.
Correct. I'm going to send Paulie a picture. He's going to put it in the chat just so you guys can see what I'm dealing with here. So they're in bed. They're watching Step Brothers. And I'm watching the game, and I'm in the living room. They're in my bedroom. My bedroom's kind of dark. It's got curtains and everything else. Not the same size TV, but it's okay. They're making do in there. Then Taylor comes out after about 40 minutes of Step Brothers. How long do we have to sleep? I go, you don't have to sleep. I never said you have to sleep. You don't have to sleep. I didn't bring you home to sleep. I brought you both home to watch the Padres, who are currently on and winning right now. Oh my God. He toddles back to his room. You see that picture?
Yeah, I'm putting it up here.
So then I'm sitting in our living room. Behind me, there are 5, 6, 7 square windows where the sun is directly in. So all you see when you look at my television is light.
Glare.
Boxes of light. Glare. 5 boxes of light. I sent Paulie the picture. Here it is. That's what so that's what I'm looking at in my home. So I'm basically in hell at this point. I'm basically I'm in the
no shades or drapes or anything you can put on those. Okay.
So I'm in the Benny. I'm rotting. I'm rotting in there. Finally, I get up. And I walk in the other room. I go, you guys are going in there to watch Step Brothers. I'm watching the game in here. So I boot them. I can't turn them off. They're lights. They're cutouts in my home where the light comes in. Windows, I think they call
windows.
them. Yeah, they're windows.
Not lights.
They're not lights. They're windows.
They look like track lights.
They look like track lights. They're not. And so I go, get the hell out of here. I'm watching it in here. So then they go out to the couch, have to restart Step Brothers or whatever. Again, I'm watching the game. I'm yelling in there. I'm having a ball. Taylor comes in. Are we done yet? How long? I want to go ride my bike. I'm like, dude, what time did the game start?
12:08.
It was 1:37. And he's like, I want to go ride my bike. And I go, this is insane. Go back in there. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I told you what we were here to do. Then I hear them fighting. And then they start going at it. And then I walk in the room. I see Bo standing up, kicking Taylor on the couch. God. And I just go, hey, enough. And I separated them. And I laid into him. I go, this is the last time this will ever happen. I said, you will never be pulled out of school ever again. I said, they could be in the World Series. You will be rotting in algebra. It's never happening again. I gave you a chance. You blew it. You both blew it. How dumb do you have to be to get out of school like 5 hours early, and you guys effed it up. You both effed it up. How do you do this? How do you do this? Bo didn't watch 30 seconds of the game. Taylor watched less than that. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible experience. A horrible experience.
I'm surprised that as your kids, that they wouldn't be manipulative enough to know if I am the sweetest angel, I may get to do this every day this month.
At least once a week. At least once a week. If all you guys had to do was cuddle up next to your old man, fire some questions at me, be engaged. It was horrible.
Hannah says in the chat, I got a panicked text from Bo telling me to get home immediately.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. He's got his little watch, texting his mom.
Get home immediately.
Dad is losing his ass.
I mean,
Dad can't handle this. Get home immediately.
Hey, Billy, if you're listening, what a horrible idea. A horrible,
Dad is raging and Taylor is being rude.
Yeah, I was so mad. So mad. Listen.
Oh, man.
I love those dudes. Like, there is no tomorrow. But yesterday, I was like, I can't believe you guys messed this up. I really can't. I mean, I gave you the keys to the kingdom. And it makes you think. You're like, you always talk about good decisions, bad decisions. I go, guys, this was the easiest decision. All you had to do was sit on you don't even have to watch the game. I don't care about that. Sit on the couch, shut your pie hole, and watch movies and snack and have a bowl. I go, you guys messed this up. You messed this up.
You're on Easy Street.
Easy Street, dude. And I go, I will never, ever pick you guys up school again. So I'm glad you asked. About that. Billy, maybe you want to bring over a drum set for Christmas. Maybe 2. How about that? Maybe a xylophone, maybe a trumpet or a trombone.
Vuvuzela.
Yeah, vuvuzela. How about 2 vuvuzelas? I go, it's just you build it up in your mind of like, this is going to be so kick-ass. This is going to be so much fun. It's going to be bonding. They'll never forget it. Oh, they'll never forget it. All right. But it's never going to happen.
Well, I've got good news for you. Today, you have the much more relaxing opportunity of a 97.3 The Fan watch party. Join Bennett Woods, the Braden Sopranet Show, Gwen and Chris for a watch party at Park 101 in Carlsbad at noon. We're all going to be together watching Step Brothers. We're just going to put it on all the TVs at Park 101. Oh, no, we're going to actually watch the game. Hopefully our team does not get eliminated.
It's not the worst idea.
Just have Step Brothers. We should have at least on one of the TVs. No,
I'm just saying, if a bar was like, hey, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday night, we're just gonna play Step Brothers on all the TVs in the bar. Come hang out. I'm like, hey, babe,
all right, works for me.
Pretty fun, actually.
Hey, it's a bi-level sports bar with a rooftop deck, huge screens. We've got North County's best barbecue, craft cocktails, and we're giving away autographed baseballs and autographed Xander Bogaerts jersey, all presented by Estrella Jalisco Light Mexican Lager. That is today, Park 101, 3040 Carlsbad Boulevard in the Carlsbad Village. We will see Woodsy there without his kids.
I will be there. No kids.
Take him out of school. Come to the watch party.
Hey, let's go to the bar. There'd be some giant Jenga that Taylor would just. My nerves are just frazzled. I'm like, ah!
Some nerds like trying to get this last piece, and Taylor just goes and knocks it over.
Dude, I'm telling you, I love them, and they're probably watching right now. I love them so much. I'm sorry that I dressed you down yesterday, but it really was. I'm going to be honest with you. It was really a pathetic display by both of you to ruin the golden path. It was the goal. All you had to do was snack, watch, honestly, whatever movie you wanted. They could have been watching Porky's. I probably wouldn't have cared, dude. I really probably wouldn't have. I just wanted to watch the game with them. And it's not like I didn't get mad because they didn't want to watch the game with me. I kind of knew Taylor, at least. I was like, he's going to go watch Demon Hunter K-pop. I knew that. I knew it was going to happen. Bo disappointed me a little bit. I thought he would at least want to watch a couple of innings of the Padres. He didn't.
Well, your mistake taking them out too early when the Guardians game was still on.
Yeah, he's like, what? I watched 4 innings of baseball with you. And he did. He really, really did.
All right, we have a pretty fun show planned for you. I think you kind of know what the menu is. Although, if you missed it yesterday, we do have a special guest very excited about coming in studio. We'll tell you about that right after a check of traffic with Kelly here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring Water. Good morning. Rough start for South 15 travelers in the North County. Accident involving a motorcycle just before Auto Park Way. It's got the 2 left lanes blocked. Then up ahead, reports of another accident involving a motorcycle. This one's near Camino del Norte. It's in the second lane from the left. If you're heading over to Coronado, leave a little extra time for travel because right now we are showing that bridge backed up at full span. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Going to be honest, we're probably going to spend the next 90 minutes mostly yelling at each other and yelling at you in the YouTube stream and arguing about Bunting and Jackson Merrill, and it's going to get kind of awkward and maybe somewhat unpleasant as we go through the game and our crap up of Game 1 of the wild card series at Wrigley Field yesterday. There was some positives in terms of pitching performance, but we can discuss the 3-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs that puts the Padres season on the brink, and that will be the vast majority of the first half of our program. We'll probably even skip over Don't Do This today so we can focus in on the postseason. Then at 8 o'clock, joining us in studio, former Padres and Rockies manager Harry Ralston. Buddy Black is going to be in studio for an hour to talk playoff baseball, what he's been watching. There's tons of managerial openings now. Another one yesterday is Ron Washington was announced that he is not returning to the Los Angeles Angels. So was that about 4 or 5 jobs that are now open around the big league? Some interesting decisions coming up in Major League Baseball. Buddy Black is going to be with us in studio from 8 until 9 o'clock. So we're going to have to obviously take on Woods. And then in the final hour, we'll look ahead mostly to Game 2 today. We will also get live coverage of the pregame news conferences with Mike Schilt. Jay Cronenworth are both scheduled to speak at the podium. So we'll dip into Chicago. We'll also talk to Sammy Levit in postseason mode in Wrigley Field as we did yesterday in our final hour as well. So lots of playoff baseball talk coming up. We will start with a complete wrap-up of Game 1 yesterday, the 3-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. That is coming up next. Glad to have you with us. We will get through this together. I see a lot of dooming. I'm on the fence myself when it comes to
fully with you.
I'm on the fence when it comes. I'm very nervous about this game today. Obviously, it's things could go. This could be very bad. A 2 and done for the Padres in the playoffs, or they could win today, and we would be feeling very different going into Game 3 tomorrow. So we'll talk all about it coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, early reminder that if you haven't done so yet, if you have a family, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, or even approaching or in your 50s like Woods and I, and you don't have your estate documents in order, there's an easy and affordable way to get it done and get that peace of mind that knowing your family is going to be taken care of after you're gone.
Yes, my sweet, sweet angels, probably at this point waiting to execute that trust and will, to be honest with you. But no, go to trustandwill.com, use the code radio20. When you check out, going to give you 20% off, right? And then you will get your estate documents. You will get them notarized. You will throw them in the desk drawer. You will forget about them until they need them. But let everybody know, hey, it's all done. We're finally taken care of.
You can name guardians for your children. Did you know that if you pass away and you haven't named guardians, your like brother or sister can't come in and say, oh, I will take them. That's what they would want. No, the state decides who gets your children. The state will decide what happens to your possessions, your trust assets like your house, if you don't have it set down. So make sure you get it done. Get that in order. Avoid probate court.
I'll name a guardian, Jose Ramirez. That's who I would want. That's the guardian that I would name ASAP.
Tanner Bybee,
perhaps. Yeah.
You can do it affordably with no lawyer necessary. Just go to trustandwill.com, fill out some simple questions, and have them shipped to you. Use code radio20 at checkout for 20% off at trustandwill.com.
in this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
This hour on The Fan is brought to you by Staples. The Staples HP Tech event is on. Now at Staples, tech smarter, not harder, with up to 40% off AI-powered PCs, plus up to 35% off select HP printers. America's most trusted printer brand. Offer ends 11/1. Staples, that was easy. I think, see if you guys agree with me. I'm going to acknowledge it once, and then I don't want to talk about it again. But I've seen it 10 million times since the end of the game yesterday. Yes, the Padres have scored one run in their last 33 playoff innings.
Yeah.
It's out there. We've all seen it. We've seen the tweet 100 times if I've seen it once. Yes, the Padres have struggled offensively in their last 3.5 playoff games, dating back 12 months ago to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't know if that is relevant to today at all, other than, yes, it is tough to score runs in the playoffs. In 3 of the 4 games yesterday, runs were very hard to come by, especially in the day games when you've got the suns and the shadows in the fall. Tough to score. It always is in the postseason, and runs are always at a premium, especially in an afternoon game like that at Wrigley Field. And it kind of went, Woods, yesterday as we expected it to. In many ways, that game played out, surprisingly almost, the way a lot of people predicted it would.
Yeah, close, well pitched. Great defense. I mean, great defense.
Cubs are a really good defensive team.
Extremely. Dansby Swanson gets the game ball from the skip yesterday. Saved their bacon on more than one occasion yesterday, certainly. But yeah, it did. And I think, the things that we're going to lament are missed opportunities and poor execution. That's what it's all about. Also, what's coming. The culture conversation needs to be had at some point today. There is a culture with the San Diego Padres that I don't particularly like at all, and I don't think it's the right strategy for winning baseball games, and hasn't been the right strategy for winning baseball games since the dead ball era. I looked it up last night. I spent an inordinate amount of time looking at this stuff, and the culture of the San Diego Padres is scared. It's scared baseball. It's not smart baseball. There's a reason nobody else does it. There's a reason. The reason is that it's not smart and doesn't win baseball games. It's very simple. Very simple. And that needs to be discussed.
All right, we will talk about it. We will go through the entire game yesterday. Let's get to our Padres crap up. All the highlights and lowlights coming up right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
But just what we don't need, a crash on the Coronado Bridge. This is heading over to the island past the 5-car and motorcycle involved. Got the left lane blocked. In the North County, south on 15 for Auto Parkway. Another crash involving a motorcycle. This one's got the 2 left lanes blocked. I'm Kelly Danek with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
Oh, a shame indeed.
I couldn't agree more.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
What the heck happened?
Are you kidding me?
Can't even believe it.
It's the Padres,
Crap up.
presented by Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the pump and figure it out.
2-2 to Bogart, 6th pitch of the at-bat, and Sander hits one on a rope into left center field. That'll get the job done. One hops up against the ivy. Merrill scores easily. Bogart's into second base. Now the throw kicks away, and Sander going to try for third and get there. So back-to-back doubles plus an error, and the Padres a 1-0 lead.
They crack things open here early.
2-1 pitch. Suzuki swings, hits it in the air, deep to left center field, way back in front. About halfway up the bleachers in left, and Seiya Suzuki, his first career postseason home run, a lead shot here in the 5th, and this game is tied 1-1. 2-2 to Carson Kelly. And that's in the air, deep to left field. Sheets is backing up. He is looking for the wall. He is at the wall, and it's going to go. First row behind the basket, and Carson Kelly, in his first career postseason game, goes deep. The Cubs have hit back-to-back home runs to begin the bottom of the 5th inning, and they now lead 2-1. 1-2 to Horner with guys on second and third, 1 out. The pitch from Estrada swung on, lifted in the air to center field, not too deep. Merrill coming on, he'll make the catch. Swanson's tagging. Here's the throw to the plate. It skips off the mound, up the first baseline, and a sac fly for Horner makes it 3-1 Cubs. Here's the 2-2. Bogarts takes on the outside corner, strike 3 called, and game 1 goes to the Cubs. A magnificent performance by the Chicago bullpen. They retire all 14 batters that they face, and the back-to-back homers by Suzuki and Kelly in the bottom of the 5th turn out to be enough.
Yeah, Jackson's on his own there, seeing the game, getting it over. It worked out to the point where we got Manny over and Logie infield hit. We got a chance to, extend the lead. That's what we're looking to do. And we just couldn't, we got our sac fly with 2 outs.
You can make the argument that the first 4 innings went very well for the Padres and are also where the Padres lost the game yesterday against the Chicago Cubs. Kind of ironically, they got out to the lead that we really wanted to see them get out to there in the 2nd inning. Jackson Merrill blooping a little double down the right field line. Good hustle right out of the box. Good aggressive playoff base running. And then Xander Bogaerts delivers the sharpest hit ball of the game by the San Diego Padres, that RBI double into the gap to make it 1-0 and put himself on third base after the PCA error with nobody out. So a golden opportunity at the minimum. Of course, you're thinking, okay, Padres should be up at least 2-0 here in the 2nd inning.
Got to get it in.
Got to get that run in. And I think that the story of the game obviously will be not getting that runner in and then not getting another runner in the 4th inning with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. I hesitate to just throw the blame, though, on the loss on Ryan O'Hearn.
Right.
His at-bat was not – both of his at-bats in those situations were not bad. In the 2nd inning, hit a 102-mile-an-hour rocket – through a drawn-in infield. He's trying to go up the middle there. He's trying to hit it hard there, and he did both of those things. And Dansby Swanson made a terrific play that kept the runner at third base, kept Xander Bogaerts at third base. I don't blame Xander for not – the contact play is not something you usually put on with nobody out. And even if it was, that ball was hit so hard and Dansby was up quickly, Xander might have been a dead duck at home had he been going in that situation.
Which we would have absolutely flipped out about, getting thrown out at home. Also, remember, Xander's got a bit of a bum wheel, right? And now it's well enough for him to play shortstop. It's well enough for him to run the bases. But at that point, I don't think his secondary was such that he was going to.
And you've got another chance coming up with one out to get that run in. So you play that conservatively.
Yeah. Hindsight, take your shot, right? Obviously, everybody says
there,
that.
I mean, the strategy is sound to not have the contact play on. And again, I think he would have been out at home just based on how hard the ball was hit and how quickly Dansby Swanson got up with it. So it's 490 XBA on that play, on that hit by
that's expected
O'Hearn.
batting average. That's almost 500.
That's a great XBA. That's a hit a lot of the time. And the Padres have a rally going. Who knows what happens? But credit to Dansby Swanson, made the play. Next up, of course, is Gavin Sheets. Now, we talked about it before the game. This is a lefty lane, lefty, O'Hearn, Sheets, Cronenworth, that is going to be vulnerable to Cubs starting pitchers like Matthew Boyd and today's bulk pitcher Shota Imanaga, as well as their bullpen. And it comes into play as Gavin Sheets hits a weak pop-up, I believe, in that situation. Yep. That is no chance of scoring the runner at third.
Just brutal.
And then, of course, Jake Cronenworth comes up. He hits a chopper up the middle, and you don't score that run from third. And now you're feeling deflating. Like it's a huge wasted opportunity.
Yeah, super, super deflating there. Again, lack of execution, okay? But, you still got a lead, and Nick Pivetta is pitching like a straight-up G. He is throwing heat at the top of the zone, which is what I said yesterday. Get up. They cannot hit high velo. Now, Carson Kelly finally made an adjustment and got one, but the pitch that Suzuki hit out was leaked low and in, and he just turned on it and hit it a mile. So, I mean, it was so effective, just pitching, high velo at the top of the zone. The Cubs were flummoxed by him. And yeah, he made, in my opinion, he made one mistake. I know 2 balls got hit out, but I think only one of them was a mistake pitch. Sometimes these guys are very good and they make adjustments and say, all right, I'm going to key in on one area. I got it here. He made a good pitch. He still hit it out. So I don't even think that was a mistake to Kelly. I think the pitch to Seiya was a mistake. It leaked down, it leaked in, and he got it, and it happens. But, 2 solo shots there. It sucks, but it's not the worst outcome because you still have a way to score runs, and you just didn't.
Nick Pivetta said as much after the game. Pitch to Suzuki was definitely a mistake, not where he wanted it.
Yeah.
Said the pitch to Kelly,
it was good.
He made a bad swing on a fastball before, wanted to put it right there. And, sometimes the batter does beat you. But overall, I would say Nick Pivetta, as good of a start as we've seen from a Padres pitcher in the second half of the season. 9 strikeouts, no walks. He did not. Remember, we talked about how the last time at Wrigley Field, he walked some guys. He wasn't aggressive. This time he was extremely aggressive in the strike zone. Just 2-3 ball counts. Loved what I saw from Nick Pivetta. Yep. Yes, the solo home runs will haunt him for a while, but I'm not blaming Nick Pivetta for this game. He was everything the Padres needed him to be. Again, it's the offense. And let me go back an inning. Let me go back an inning before those home runs because we want to talk about the 4th inning. For a number of reasons. Manny Machado starts with a walk.
Yep.
I think fakes the bunt there in that situation, draws ball 3, and then gets ball 4 from Boyd to get on to lead off the inning. Jackson Merrill then comes up, your cleanup hitter, one of your hottest hitters. Lefty on lefty for sure, but he had doubled in his first at-bat. Wasn't a sharply struck double.
Just so you know, before we go into this, in the month of September, Jackson Merrill had a 160 WRC plus, a 395 WOBA, 626 slug, and 20% barrel rate. Just so you know, the month of September, he's coming in hot as fire, right? He's coming in feeling himself.
Like WRC, like 100 is league average.
100 is average, okay?
So 160.
He's been good. He's been mashing the baseball. He's playing with a lot of confidence. Led off with a double. Came around to score the Padres' first run and only run of the game. He's in the 4-hole. The 3-hole hitter gets on first base. Not a double, a single or a walk. So he's on first base.
So let's talk about first what we do know and what we don't know. What we don't know is what Jackson Merrill would have done had he swung away in that at bat. very well could have made an out. It's lefty on lefty. It's a tough at-bat. Could have grounded into a double play. Could have struck out. Could have done things worse than advancing the runner from first to second. He also could have hit a home run, a 2-run homer. He could have hit a double to the gap to put runners at second and third. We will never know. But there are certainly plenty of outcomes that were both positive and negative. Jackson Merrill did not let that play out, though, of course. Laid down a bunt, sacrifice bunt that moved Manny to second with 1 out in the inning.
Third inning.
In the fourth inning.
Fourth inning.
Top of the fourth inning. That was then followed by Xander Bogaerts, an infield single that moved the runners to first and third. At that point, you're thinking, well, maybe the bunt wasn't a terrible idea because now you have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs and a chance to add to your lead that you wouldn't have had Jackson Merrill made an out there. So maybe the productive out wasn't a bad call. Of course, for the second time in four innings, the Padres are unable to get the run home. And I also, again, want to not throw this all on Ryan O'Hearn, who was the batter again with the runner at third. He made an adjustment, got the ball in the air, this time blooped one to center with an XBA of 840, a ball that is almost always a hit. But once again, Dansby Swanson makes a really sensational play.
That's a good player making a good
to
play
rob
in the
him of a
playoffs.
single. And I go, you can say lack of execution. He adjusted. He got the ball in the air. It just didn't work out. I can't just throw this all on Ryan O'Hearn, who had a 490 and an 840 XBA in his 2 at-bats, the 2 most important at-bats of the game. You'll take that every time from a batter in that situation.
And
I can't.
It will work
I'm not
out
going
in
to
your
throw
favor.
this all on Ryan O'Hearn. Yes, it will work out in your favor most of the time. It
will
didn't
work out.
yesterday.
Yeah, correct.
So,
real quick on that play, do you think Leaper should have sent Manny?
So somebody said Manny's not super fast. He runs the bases well, but he's not fast. So he said, well, all his momentum is going away. I go,
I mean, that ball
again
rolled in.
Maybe hindsight. Sure. Hindsight, give it a shot. Hindsight, give it a shot with Xander.
Tatis is going there.
Tatis is going there.
Probably making it.
Probably on his own.
Yeah.
He's probably making that decision on his own. That's just how he runs the bases. But I was texting with some friends, and Buddy goes, he's like, that's Leaper. He's too conservative. It's going to bite us. And it has. We've seen it.
But again, you'd hate to have 2 guys thrown, if you had sent Xander and then you had sent Manny, you'd hate to have 2 guys thrown out at home in the first 4
Just
innings.
like the Guardians had a guy thrown at home in the ninth inning. Caught
Based
up
on the
between third and
results,
home.
maybe a little more aggression would
Today, sure. Yeah, be a little bit more aggressive. And, again.
But they weren't aggressive. They were conservative. Jackson was conservative.
Yes.
And after the game, Mike Schilt and Jackson were both asked about it. Mike Schilt said that was Jackson on his own.
Jackson Merrill bunt there in the fourth, the runner on first. Was that something he did, something that was called in, and sort of what was the thinking behind it?
Yeah, Jackson's on his own there, seeing the game, getting it over. It worked out to the point where we got Manny over and Logie infield hit. We got a chance to, extend the lead. That's what we're looking to do. And we just couldn't, we got our sac fly with 2 outs.
That would be the Gavin Sheets when I thought he might have gotten that when he hit it off the bat, but no, just a fly ball to center field. And the Padres end up empty again there in the 4th inning, unable to get that run home from third. Woods, now here's what we do know. I said what we don't know, what Jackson would have done. We do know the math is very clear that in the long run, the bunt there is a negative value play.
Yeah.
Then that has been well established by baseball mathematicians, statisticians, that you are going to score less runs in the long term by laying down a sacrifice bunt in a situation like that, especially with a batter like Jackson Merrill at the plate. I have no argument with you there.
Again, it's all dependent on who's at the plate, right? If it's Freddie Fermin, fire away. Fire away. I really have no problem with it. If it's Jake Cronenworth in the 8-hole, really have no problem with it. I mean, I think Jake's got some pop. Jake can do some damage. I've seen him do damage. I've seen him show up in the playoffs. I'd be a little bit, but my cleanup hitter laying down a sacrifice bunt to get a guy from first to second in the 4th inning, we're infected.
I thought Bill nailed it in the chat. Nobody's cleanup hitter in the postseason.
Nobody.
Of all of these teams will even try to bunt.
I am.
Padres will.
It's the same rap that I gave a few weeks ago.
Now, Jackson wasn't the cleanup hitter 2 weeks ago. He was your 6th hitter 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Would you have been okay with it if he was your 6th hitter?
I don't want
Jackson,
Jackson Merrill to ever square to bunt again. I don't want it as a part of his game. He's far too dynamic of a player to bunt. And here's the problem. The same rap as a few weeks ago. It's a mindset that has infected this team. Jackson is a young player. You know what Pavlov's dogs are? You ring the bell, the dogs start running. They want their treat. He's a young player, man. In his mind, it has been so rewarded for the old, atta baby, hey, great job giving yourself up. That's what you do. It's Pavlov's dogs, man. They ring the bell. He gets his pat on the butt, and they moves the chain. Yeah. Oh, yes, I got it. It's a mindset. And the way that I know that it's a mindset,
is Jackson
the
Merrill.
way that I know it's a mindset is that we sacrifice bunt 50% more than any other team in baseball, including the Marlins, including the Rockies, including everyone. It's not. And then they categorize it as winning baseball because they won 90 games. We might have won 103 games had we not had this mentality of single bunt. You know what I mean? Like, it's infected our team. This is not 1984 anymore. It's just not. And so we've got sluggers on this team that no longer slug. We've got potential superstars that have the mindset of, yeah, I'll just give an out away. That's a good idea. I've been told that's a great plan and a great strategy to give outs away. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I like the feeling that I get of, hey, great job, dude. It's rewarded. You know, we always hear about this, the ball talk sessions and all that. You know, we've seen Arise do it, 3-time batting champion, as we've been told over and over. We've seen him do it, sacrificing in the first inning. Again, I'm not saying everybody needs to go up there and try to yak the ball out of the ballpark because that leads to some ugly baseball as well. There's a time and place for it. It's not from Jackson, and it's not in the fourth inning. That's my beef. And it's infected this team. It's infected. It's a mindset that has infected this team.
I think you're spot on.
I mean, it has to be, dude. It just.
I know what Mike Schilt would say, and part of me agrees with it. You want a team that is willing to sacrifice for each other.
Of course.
And give them, not worry about their own stats in order to benefit the team. That is a good culture. And Mike Schilt has established, in that sense, a good culture that has played winning baseball the last 2 years for the San Diego Padres. I just think we have to take the word literally sacrifice yourself out of that culture. Have that mindset. I am here for the team, whatever the team needs. I am willing to sacrifice myself, but don't actually sacrifice yourself for the team because that doesn't help the team.
And listen, that mentality has nothing to do with the absolutely dismal performance from the top of our order. So I don't want to put all of this on Jackson Merrill. Obviously, it was not a great play. It didn't work out. But the top of our order has to be better. Fernando Tatis Jr. had some of the worst ABs I've ever seen him have. Going after the away pitch, trying to pull that pitch, he was so jumpy, so antsy, and I get it. He's fired up. He's had success in the playoffs. He probably thought this sets up. I mean, he did. Matthew Boyd sets up really well for Fernando Tatis Jr. He got jumpy. It happens to the greatest of them, all of them. Get a little jumpy in the playoffs. He did. He had terrible ABs. Manny, got to be better. Arise, can't have it. Those three guys right there sunk this team yesterday.
We'll talk about the lack of offense late in the game. Continue our discussion of Game 1 of the Wild Card Series. Remember, Bud Black going to join us in studio in just over 1 hour. Ben and Woods continuing on a playoff Wednesday here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Bennett and Buck, hour number 2. I saw that, Paulie, on the YouTube stream.
Oh, is it not up there still?
It was
just for a
last
moment?
segment.
You can just leave it.
There it is.
My new nickname.
Buck.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Buck Bunting.
Last name,
Yeah.
Funting.
Yeah, first name Buck. Last name Bunting.
We're talking about, obviously, the Padres 3-1 loss to the Cubs yesterday. Were you okay, Buck, with Matt Shaw bunting in the 8th inning with the Cubs up 2-1 against Jeremiah Estrada? Number 9 hitter, a righty-on-righty matchup, had a lead single, runner on first, just like the Padres had in the 4th inning with a 1-run lead, trying to extend that lead, playing for 1 run that inning.
Yeah.
You were okay
absolutely.
with that. Okay.
Just like I
was too.
said earlier, Freddie Fermin needs to get one down later today. Again, it's not that I hate bunting as a whole. I hate bunting 50% more, sacrifice bunting 50% more. David J with a really good point yesterday. What did they say on the broadcast? Matt Shaw never bunted at the big league level, never dropped out a bunt. Apparently, you don't have to do it 400 times a season to get it down.
That was something that the Padres thought could be an advantage for them.
Correct.
Hey,
it's not.
We've done it. We've normalized this culture. When you need a big one in the postseason, we're going to be able to lay it down. Well, the Cubs hadn't, but they were able to lay it down anyway.
I loved that quote from David. I loved it. I thought it was genius. Yeah, you don't have to do it 400 times a year to get one down in a big moment. You know, he's bunted before. Guys are capable of doing it. We have taken it as a part of our offense.
Matt Shaw got plenty of props from color analyst Ben McDonald on the television broadcast for keeping that bunt away from Manny Machado.
Let's talk about that.
What?
Let's talk about the broadcast a little.
I listened to Jesse and Tony early, but I did catch some of the ABC telecast with Kevin Brown, Jessica Mendoza, Ben McDonald, and Jesse Rogers.
All right. So Kevin Brown, I think we can all agree, is fantastic.
He was good.
Jesse Rogers, when they cut down him for his interviews, fantastic. Jessica Mendoza hates the Padres. She loves the Dodgers. She's like a Dodger fan since birth. That's okay. It happens. It's going to, your biases will bleed through. As the game wore on, Ben McDonald started to feel like someone was shoving needles in my throat, that I was tied to a chair and they just kept pricking me.
Now,
with
be fair, Ben McDonald knows his stuff.
There's no question.
Former number 1 overall pick.
Question he knows his stuff. There's no question. I'm not questioning his baseball acumen. I'm questioning his delivery is what I'm after a while when you're just seething because your team is, bunting and not getting guys in. All you hear is every time he spoke, I just pictured Ernest, like Jim Varney, Ernest Goes to Camp. And it started to make me insane. It was just like, he'd just be like, well, butter my buns. Look at that. He got himself a base hit. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm listening to our buddy Foster call an MLB game. Hey, oh, boy, look at that. He's about as useless as a screen door on a submarine. I can't believe it. He thinks the sun comes up just to hear him crow. I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. What the hell? What am I watching here? Hee-haw? It got me, dude. Hey, Vern. It was driving me nuts. By the end of it, I had lost. Now listen, I was screaming at my kid. I lost my mind at the end.
Oh God!
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. But he murdered me at the end.
Oh, that is so funny.
Polly, you're as useless as T's on a board, boy. Like, where am I? Back on the farm. Like, it was awful, dude. It was awful.
He's a Baton Rouge, Louisiana native. Went to LSU.
Indeed,
number 1 overall pick in 1989. Didn't have a great MLB career, but
he should have. I had 7,000 Ben McDonald rookie cards because I thought he was going to be the next Tom Seaver. He threw the nastiest yacker I've ever seen in my whole life. Him and Greg Olson, they were on the same team. And I go, who's going to beat the Orioles ever? These guys are incredible. And I'm sure. And Kevin Brown's a G, and he was great. I wonder in the course of 162, if he goes home to his wife and he's like, he literally has a piece of straw hanging out of his mouth. I don't know what to do at this point. Like, it's driving me insane. He was making. So they have the same crew today, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure you listen, Matt. So when you're. Oh.
There was a point. I had looked up. I knew who. I mean, I booked Jesse Rogers the other day. Like, I knew who the broadcast crew was, and yet, I had gotten the movers out. The movers left yesterday in the first inning, so I finally I sit down. It's like the second inning. I'm watching on my phone, and there was a moment where I go, "Who the F is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy?
What am I listening to right now? Is this Foghorn Leghorn?"
Ernest goes to Wrigley. That's what it felt like to me, dude. Like, hey, Ernest, you want to come up and call a game? Just killed me, man. And again, if we're up 7-1, I'm probably coming here today going, man, how great was that? He was all
McDonald
countrified. It was so fun. We were getting killed, and just you could see it slipping away. So every time he did one of his little, boy, you catch more flies with honey, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I want to die. It just really started to grate on me at the end. It's so stupid. So that was that.
Oh man. Let's look big picture. What did the Cubs do better than the Padres? What did the Padres do better than the Cubs in the game yesterday?
They executed, man. They executed defensively when they had to.
Padres didn't make any defensive mistakes at all, I would say.
You know what?
Manny turned a good double play.
He did. That was a nice DP.
I don't think there was one area of defense that I would say where the Padres slipped. Now, did they have the opportunity to make any spectacular plays? I don't think so. Just the way baseball kind of works. I don't think there was any slip-ups at all from the Padres in the field in the game.
Honestly, there was just one play that stood out to me. The guy, the flare into left.
The one that Gavin Sheets they talked about. Ramon Laureano might have caught that one if he was.
I think he got. I don't think he got a good jump. Number one. And again, I was texting with. I was actually texting with Skip Schumacher yesterday, and he goes, "Man, let me tell you." He goes, "The shadows are real," and I go, "I have no doubt. You don't need to be a big league manager to know that the shadows out there are nasty. You can't see it off the bat. How many times did we? Ian Happ almost booted one. Yeah. What in the first inning? I mean. He had sunglasses on the back of his head.
Was that when PCA came flying and got it at the last second?
He came in, but Happ found it and then came back and ran like 7 steps in at the last minute. Oh, there it is. And then he found it. Arise, made the pop-up catches. They looked a little dicey, but he caught them. The Padres did.
They did fine
what they had to do. That single did not end up hurting Adrian Morejon, who got the double play.
God, he was brilliant.
Nice turn by Manny, and he got the pop-up there after 2, very softly hit singles. To start the inning could have been disastrous, but the Padres did get out of that inning. I thought they were solid. Yes, the shadows, if anything, played a factor with the Cubs bullpen, which was a good bullpen, but the Padres were supposed to have the edge on the bullpen.
They were amazing.
The Cubs bullpen went 4 2/3 innings. Perfect. They did not allow a base runner. No hits, no walks, no nothing against the Padres offense. And maybe part of it was the shadows. Maybe part of it was pressing, the approach. You're down late in the game at that point against guys who were throwing over 100. I mean, they all had a little extra. Palencia, a little bit extra there. He had been their closer early in the year. That was a very aggressive choice.
He got 5 outs, right?
He came in the 5th inning after 4 1/3 from Boyd and got 5 outs right there.
Nasty, huge outs
early in the game. And that was that's playoff managing right there.
No question.
By Craig Counsell to bring in your former closer early in the game in that situation.
And then the one that just gutted the entire city of San Diego, because this dude took every single nickel he could from the San Diego Padres and never did anything. Drew Pomeranz comes in and goes 1, 2, 3. Piece of cake. Like he was rolling out of bed on a Sunday morning. I mean, he had zero problem. Zero. Oh, there's Drew Pomeranz. It was nuts. And you're like, that's the one that's
now. What did the Padres do better than the Cubs? Well, they certainly made a ton more contact. Cubs struck out 13 times to only 6 for the Padres.
Yep.
Padres overall made better contact. They hit the ball harder. They had higher XBA on their balls. They got a little unlucky in that game yesterday.
They did.
There is no doubt
about it.
No doubt that the Padres got a little unlucky.
Well, when you mix unlucky with lack of execution and again, we had this argument a few weeks ago, Benny. Getting a guy in from third base with less than 2 outs is why we love RBIs. It's why we love them. It's why they will never be an overrated stat. There's a different mentality, a different mindset that you have to have for a guy that can do it. They did it. We didn't. That the RBI guy, the guy that has that ability to shorten his swing and say, I just got to get it to the outfield and get this run in or hit that ground ball to the right side. There's such an art to it. There's a skill to it. There's a mindset to it. Not everybody can do it. I didn't do it a few weeks ago in a game. Paulie was on deck. I walked by him and I go, oh, I guess RBIs don't matter. Paulie comes in and picks me up with a knock. It's a different mentality. It is so much harder to do than we all give it credit for, which is why anybody that ever says RBIs don't matter, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I will fight that to the death. You know, the guys that can do it are different.
Jackson Merrill actually hit the second longest ball of the game.
Bro,
Wynn knocked it down, I think, a little bit.
What is with squaring balls up? I mean, if hitting the ball to the warning track was the art of the game, we would be the best team in baseball. The best team in baseball. Nobody hits more warning track shots than we do.
And Carson Kelly, give him credit. It was a tough pitch to hit. It's a routine fly out at most places, only a home run in 3 ballparks. Wrigley Field is one of them. So Padres definitely got a little unlucky in that game yesterday. The problem is that, no team has come back from losing the first game since they instituted the wild card round in 2022. Now, the Padres did do it before that in the COVID season in 2020. Remember, they lost game 1 to the St. Louis Cardinals and then fell behind in game 2, then came back and won that game, won game 3, and advanced to the division series. So there's a fairly recent precedent of the Padres coming back in that situation. The season is not over, to the contrary of what the Doomers would like you to think.
No,
the Padres need to win a game today.
Correct. That's it.
And then they have a chance to advance tomorrow. It's
That's
not,
right.
If this was a coin flip, would I bet on the Padres? No, you'd have, flip the coin today. You got 50-50. All right, it came our way. You do it again, 50-50 tomorrow. That means you got a 25% chance. It's not, the odds are not in your favor at this point, clearly. But they're also not astronomically impossible odds to win 2 games in a row, even on the road.
You're not down 3 games to none, right? You're needing, with 4 games to play. It's not it. You need to win a ball game today. How much confidence do you have in Dylan Cease? Now, after watching the game yesterday and the strategy that everybody said you need to employ, that we actually employed pretty well, of throwing fastballs up in the zone, Dylan Cease has that ability, period. Will they adjust? Will they spit on it? Will they be strikes or will they be out of the zone? Because they expanded. The Cubs expanded yesterday. As you said, they struck out 13 times. I have confidence that Dylan Cease can throw fastballs at the top of the zone. I really do. Which is probably why he got this start. I have confidence in him. He needs to go one time through the order, and then you unload the pen. You unload it. Whatever you have to do, but you have to have a lead. Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be not going up against Shota Imanaga. It's going to be against Andrew Kittredge, who K'd him yesterday. Then you're – as far as
late in the game in the shadows,
yeah, no doubt,
this will be a different at bat. And I'm curious about this strategy that Craig Counsell announced after the game, that Kittredge is going to be the opener and start, right-hander, obviously, to face Tatis and Manny in the first inning. That's
correct.
Why he's coming out there. But Tatis and Arise, who will, I assume, face him in the first inning, both got to see him yesterday.
Yes,
got some looks. That usually helps a batter out to see the same guy 2 days in a row. He's also doing it because Shota Imanaga has been a dumpster fire in the first inning this season. He's given up 20 runs in 25 starts in the first inning. He's been really, really bad in the first inning. So they're trying to avoid Imanaga versus Tatis and Machado in the first inning. Let him come in the second inning, presumably, face the lefties at the bottom of the Padres order, get through the righties once at the top, and then get to face the lefties again. That's the Cubs' strategy for this game. Will it work or will it backfire?
How do you counter? What do you do to counter? Who do you move things around? Do you move Jackson Merrill up in the order? Do you move Jackson Merrill up to the
Arise 1, Merrill 3? Get 2 lefties against Kittredge in the first inning and the first 3 at bats.
And you're gonna I don't think you can. You got to figure out a way. Whether it's I don't know. I mean, your options are Bryce Johnson, Jose Iglesias, or Luis Camposano, right? To be a right-handed bat to split up that lane. That lane came back to kill us. It came back to kill us, as we all said it would.
I just don't know the right answer. I can see Gavin Sheets coming through with a big hit, a big home run. He made contact yesterday, didn't go his way. But I can also see the argument that you need to break it up and that Bryce Johnson and his defense as well at Wrigley Field might be the right call especially if Shota Imanaga is going to be the guy that he's going to face twice.
If
And then
it
you can
doesn't
bring in
work
Sheets
out,
later in the
though,
game.
if it doesn't work out and you lose because you're starting Bryce Johnson and Gavin Sheets, who's powered you through the whole season, sits on the bench, that's tough as well.
It is. And it happened to the Yankees yesterday. Everyone up in arms about the Yankees leaving, I think, 50 home runs on their bench. Now, against Garrett Crochet, they did not want Jazz Chisholm to be in the lineup. Jazz Chisholm was a 30-30 guy sitting on the bench in a playoff game. Now, I get it. It's Garrett Crochet, but like we talk all the time. What do we talk about on this show? If I'm the skipper, I'm managing to cover my ass. I'm managing to win a ball game, but I'm also managing to cover my ass. And I'm going down with my best guys on the field.
Yeah.
And if that means Gavin Sheets, if that means Ryan O'Hearn, fine. But the thing is, Ben, with the two-hole situation, we've talked about it until we're blue in the face. Check. Then Mike Petriello absolutely nails it yesterday. It's still kind of incomprehensible that Luis Arraez is hitting this high. He's hit second most of the year. And, again, this is not personal bias. I like Luis Arraez a lot. San Diego's number 2 hitters all season long were tied for last in runs scored, 29th in runs driven in, 27th in OBP, and 29th in run value. The quote, I don't get it. Tied for last, 29th, 27th, 29th. It seems like an obvious solution. You know, maybe you go Arraez, Toddy, Merrill. And then they're going to have to face Imanaga at some point anyway. Do you want Arraez, though, getting more ABs than anybody else? That's the other thing that you have to worry about. You could get squirrely if you wanted to. Your back's against the wall. You could throw out a lineup, Ben, that is going to look a little bit different and probably not going to be super comfortable, and you're probably going to hurt some feelings doing it, but you might have to try it. You know, do you take the bat out of Manny's hands in the first innings against Kittredge? Because he's only going one, is my guess. If you counter with 2 lefties at the top, that kind of, okay, now I got matchups I want.
I don't think they're bumping Manny below 4. Now, Xander was great yesterday.
He's been
2 hits, smoked another one for a line out. I mean, Xander came
such a better postseason performer than Manny. So much better.
But I don't think he's going to hit ahead of Manny. I really don't see that happening. So you're hoping if you do move Manny down to the cleanup that he does get up in the first inning.
Yeah.
That you're getting some runners on and he's getting that opportunity. And then what? Is O'Hearn 5th and Bogart 6th? And is that how you separate the lefty lane a little bit? I think that's the logical solution. Arraez, Tatis, Merrill, Manny, O'Hearn, Bogarts, Sheets, Fermin, Cronenworth or Fermin. You'll have 2 lefties one way, either 7-8 or 9-1. But that does somewhat mitigate your lefty lane by doing that. And you've had Arraez hit first.
Oh, it does. It absolutely mitigates it. There's no more lane. There's no more back-to-back.
There's always going to be a back-to-back somewhere.
You don't have to.
You can't have righty-lefty all the way through. At some point, 9-1, you're going to have back-to-back hitters at the same.
Yeah.
Somewhere you're going to have
9-1, you will.
Yeah.
That's true.
But there's no way to avoid that. The other team will also have either 2 righties or 2 lefties at some point, even if you alternate, because 9-1 will always be the same. So that's one way you could do that, but it means Arraez getting the most at-bats, which Family Man Bro says is criminal. Unless he gets 3 hits, and then it's genius.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way around it is if you literally put Jose Iglesias as your DH, or Luis Camposano as your DH, or Bryce Johnson as your or Bryce Johnson as your left fielder.
Take Sheets out until later in the game when they put in another righty.
Yeah, correct. And again, I think it's very important that you score off of in the first couple of. You do not want to see Palencia again
in the shadows.
You do not want to see Keller with them having a lead again in the shadows. The shadows are going to be the same.
The other question, we got to take a quick timeout, but we're gonna bump. Don't do this because I want to talk about this game. I also want to talk about the other games yesterday, and we got Bud Black coming in at 8. Do you go to Michael King at some point in this game with your season on the line? Can you?
I think you do.
Can your season end without ever having Michael King get into a game? Will we see him at some point today?
If you had asked me that 6 months ago, I would have said you're out of your mind.
Of course.
But now things have changed.
All right,
things have changed.
We'll talk about that coming up next. Take a quick time out. More Ben and Woods on the way after traffic on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
One way or another, we're all going to need to exhale here. Friday, just take a deep breath. And if you need a place to go to have a good time, a 7 Mile Casino is our place. Our card room, the best one in San Diego, and it is so close and easy to get to. When you walk in, you're going to be amazed. The atmosphere, the friendliness, the cleanliness, no smoke, no slot machines. You're just going to go in and go, this is like a cool restaurant club that happens to also be a great card room.
Yeah, they got Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow, Baccarat, and California-style blackjack, my personal favorite. But, watching playoff baseball is way sitting down playing California-style blackjack is way more relaxing than watching playoff baseball. It really is. So, if you need a break today, great place to go. 7 Mile.
Enjoy the patio. It overlooks San Diego Bay. You can see out to the Silver Strand, the Coronado Cays. It's really beautiful at 7 Mile Casino, and it does not require a 50-minute drive out into the East County and back, a parking garage to navigate, usually some heat this time of year as well. Please check it out today. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Given over Don't Do This, a little behind this morning. Had we brought you Don't Do This, it would have been brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Clearly, today, Woods, is all hands on deck. It's an elimination game.
Yeah.
You can't leave anything on the table. Everything goes in trying to win this baseball game today. There is no tomorrow. But let's say things go well.
Yeah.
Let's imagine a universe like yesterday's where your starting pitching from Dylan Cease is pretty good. And, he gets through 3 shutout innings. What's your plan? Are you bringing in Michael King next? Are you bringing in Adrian Morejon or Wandy Peralta against lefties and then bringing in Michael King in the 5th inning? Are you letting Dylan Cease go into the 4th inning if he gets through 3 innings unscathed?
That's a hard no. It's a hard.
So one time through the order for Dylan Cease is all you're asking.
3 innings, 1 hit ball.
Done.
He's done.
And you're still,
Yeah.
I agree.
The numbers.
9 up, 9 down, 9 strikeouts.
See ya.
He's done. You're 3 innings of Dylan Cease. And then,
I mean, look, it's not, you saw this go on in New York last night with pulling Max Fried at 102 pitches, and everyone is crushing Aaron Boone. Crushing. Dylan Cease isn't Max Fried. Dylan Cease is untrustworthy. He's not he hasn't been a postseason performer at all. Not even a little. B, the numbers tell you second time through the order for this guy is a train wreck. So don't tempt fate in an elimination game. This isn't one of those where you're like, well, it really sets us up well for the next day or the next series. No, there is no next day. There is no next series. I'm going down swinging.
He has a career 12.91 ERA
in the postseason. Yeah, dude. He hasn't been
most
good.
of that is last year against the Dodgers in Game 1 and Game 4,
right?
Which he only pitched 4 innings total in those 2 games and gave up 5 or 6 runs. So that's most of his postseason ERA. He pitched once with the White Sox
7.2 innings.
Yeah, but it's a very small sample size.
Yeah, but you know what's not a small sample size? The entire season is a big sample size.
It is.
It's a huge
Now,
one.
he had a 2.8 ERA down the stretch in September.
Great.
Pitched well at the end of the season.
Go get me at the most probably 10. No, he's not facing Bush. If he gives one through nine, he's not facing unless we're up 6-0.
All right. I agree with you. I think ideal situation, 9 up, 9 down, and then you bring in Adrian Morejon to get the Bush, Happ, Tucker, in the 4th inning, top of the order there. And then I think you go to Michael King for the 5th and the 6th as you go through perhaps at that point.
Yep.
And then hopefully you've got a lead going into the 7th and you deploy
Mason Miller.
I think it's
2.
Mason Miller for 5 outs and Robert Suarez for 4. Some combination of that to try to get you to the finish line. To me, that is the plan. And then on, Thursday, you got Yu Darvish starting. And again, everyone in the bullpen is available. You've hopefully got, most guys rested. Miller will have gone twice in a row, but you need Mason Miller for another, inning. I think he's got it in him knowing there's an off day on Friday or 150 off days coming up right after that.
He's incredible. He's incredible. He's an incredible pitcher. Converting him to a starter. I'm like, okay. Cool Arrow says this plan sucks. Why? Why
would you rather see David Morgan, someone else in the middle innings?
No.
Would you rather see Bradley Rodriguez?
No.
Or would you rather see Michael King?
Michael King.
Now, you said something was heading into the last commercial break, something along the lines of things have changed. And I remember I asked, I don't know if it was Monday or late last week, like, if you're managing, like, do you change your plans at all for games 2 and 3 based on how game 1 went? Like, they were pretty clear. They said Dylan Cease is starting game 2, but like after seeing that result and being down and now facing elimination heading into today's game, would that change anything if you were the manager? Would you be like, man, maybe we should start King.
No,
maybe we should start Darvish.
Because again, I think the matchup, albeit it's on the road, he's not pitched well on the road. I understand all that. But the matchup against that team in particular, Paulie, if it was the Dodgers, maybe I probably would go Michael King. If it was another team, I probably would go Michael King. Because it's the Cubs that can't hit velo up, I'm going to go with my guy that throws the second hardest on the team, essentially, maybe the third. And I'm going to tell him, You throw heaters up in the zone, sliders away, don't hang your slider, and I think we'll be in good shape. I think you can get those 9 outs that we so desperately need from you. And then I'm aggressive after that. I'm very aggressive with Adrian Morejon, and I'm very aggressive with Mason Miller, and I'm very aggressive potentially with Michael King as well.
I said early in the season, repeat it again. I don't think the Padres were going very far without Michael King being Michael King in the playoffs. There's a chance he could still be Michael King, but if you don't use him today, your season may end without ever deploying him. It may backfire.
Which again, though, Benny,
it could.
Like you said, if you told me 6 months ago, you're going to go to a playoff series and Michael King's not going to pitch. This is before the freak injuries and all that. I would have said, you're out of your mind. He's my game 1 starter.
Right?
6 months ago.
Game playoffs?
Right. 6 months ago, yes. But now, has
he
he showed you enough in his to say you have to pitch Michael King?
But I still think he has to pitch because the goal is to win the World Series.
Right.
And
he's going to have to.
If you're going to win the World Series, he's going to have to pitch. And he's going to have to pitch well.
He's going to have to start.
He's going to have to start in the Division Series. He's going to have to start twice in the LCS, and he's going to have to start twice in the World Series. And if he can't get it done now, well, then it doesn't really matter. But you're going to have to give him an opportunity. So I want to give him that opportunity at some point today in relief of Dylan Cease, because you're going to have to pitch him at some point. So let's see him now. And if it doesn't work out, well, maybe it was never going to work out, and your season wasn't going anywhere, and your postseason wasn't going anywhere anyway.
I'm not trying to get guys work.
I'm not getting Michael King work. I need Michael King to be Michael King, and there's a chance he will be. We've seen flashes of it. You need him to lock in. But again, might as well start today.
It's all dependent on how the offense is going.
What's up? This is Michael King.
For me, it's all dependent on how the offense is going. If you're up 4, you can give a little bit more rope to Dylan Cease.
I'm not counting on more than a couple of runs. I think you're going to have to win a low-scoring game.
How could you?
Right. You can't.
You can't.
You can't. You'll be going up against those same tough pitchers as yesterday.
Ultimately, if Cease gives up 2 first-run innings, and that's it, and pitches fine after that,
do I have to stay?
And we lose 2-0.
Still in a lot of trouble.
If we give up like a bunch of runs in the first, do we have to stay at Park 101? I'm assuming we do, because I'm going to want to walk out the door.
You can drink heavily.
Then I can't. I've got kids.
Paulie will give you a ride.
I got a family. I got baseball practice.
I'll be
tonight.
on a scooter. Should get a little sidecar for that thing.
Please get a sidecar for your scooter, and I'll sit in it. The greatest.
I'll pay money for that picture.
Greatest. Listen, somebody said earlier, man, you guys have no faith. And I said, you're absolutely right. I don't have any faith. You know what I have? I have hope. I don't have faith. I have hope. I'm hoping that miraculously, this team finds its power stroke. I'm hoping miraculously that Dylan Cease. I don't
think they need a miracle. It's not to the extent of a miracle.
It's not Clevenger and
we saw a lot of home runs in
Arrieta.
September. I mean, they have a power stroke. Will they come out today? I don't know.
But
it doesn't need a miracle.
But it's hope. It's not faith.
But you'd also be delusional to expect it to happen today.
Correct.
I don't expect a big offensive output. What about this team has told you, oh yeah, they got 8 runs in them today? Not much. Not much.
The Friar hopeful. Yes, that's exactly it. And the Friar hopeful stand as one. That makes more sense to me than the Friar faithful.
For the hopeful.
For the hopeful stand as one.
Our friend Bev Aquafina says, Quillo spent a mint. He built a very flawed, inconsistent lineup.
It's the culture. It's not the lineup.
Well, every baseball player is inconsistent to a certain extent.
They are, but it's again.
The lineup is less flawed with Ramon Laureano.
There's no doubt.
It's definitely more flawed without him, especially against all the lefties that the Cubs had. This was a bad matchup offensively for the Padres. I think pitching-wise, pretty good matchup against the Cubs, but offensively, bad matchup against all their lefties,
100%.
again with no Ramon Laureano.
Well, let's stack 5 in a row today and see if that works.
All right, we'll see. We will have a lineup probably before the end of the show. We will hear from Mike Schilt before the end of the show.
If it's the same one, you might watch me. Like, you might watch me pull my hair out with my own hands.
We will get thoughts
the same lineup
from another longtime manager in studio coming up in about 25 minutes when Bud Black joins us. When we come back, though, I want to talk about some of the other games as well in Major League Baseball. Yesterday, we are elimination day for 4 teams in Major League Baseball, not just the Padres. That is coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, SDFatLoss.com was my way to lose weight. I did it 2 summers ago. And I had done other weight loss programs. I had done the shakes and I didn't like it, but I got through it and I lost weight. But the problem was, once I went back to real food, I immediately gained the weight back. Within 6 to 8 months, I was pretty much back up to what I was before. I could not maintain my weight loss. But with sdfatloss.com, I lost the weight fast, 40 pounds in 60 days, and I have maintained every single pound of weight loss for over 2 years. They will explain how to do it, how to change your metabolism, how to jumpstart your body to lose weight fast, up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days with no injections and no exercise and eating foods you like. I ate a lot of steak and chicken and vegetables. You can do fish, whatever you want. They will explain it and tell you when to eat, how much to eat. Yeah, it'll be rough for a couple of days. I got used to it really quickly, and then the weight came off and getting on that scale. A delight. Join the tier ones who have already lost a ton of weight and sign up. Set up your free consultation today at sdfatloss.com. sdfatloss.com for your free consultation, and by December, you could already have the weight off before Christmas season. It's sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Yet another managerial opening in Major League Baseball this morning. Get to that in just a second. First, you can join us later today at Park 101 in Carlsbad for our 97.3 The Fan postseason watch party. Ben, Woods, Paulie, Braden, Chris, Graby, I think Italian Paul will all be out there watching the game starting at noon today. Park 101, a bi-level sports bar, rooftop deck, huge screens, North County's best barbecue, craft cocktails, and we'll be giving away autographed baseballs and a signed Xander Bogaerts jersey, all presented by Estrella Jalisco Light Mexican Lager. Join us today at Park 101, 3040 Carlsbad Boulevard in the Carlsbad Village. Brian Snitker has announced he will retire as manager of the Atlanta Braves, but will stay in the organization, adding yet another managerial opening. We thought it would be a very quiet Black Monday / Tuesday / Wednesday. We were wrong about that. That is now, I believe, 5 managerial openings. Ron Washington won't return. Yep. Bruce Bochy won't return. The Giants fired Bob Melvin, and the Twins fired Rocco Baldelli.
And now Brian Snitker.
Plus, you have, I think, Pittsburgh is still. I think no, they kept their
Kelly,
manager.
Yep.
The Rockies, though, will be looking for a new manager, I believe, as well.
Potentially.
After their interim, potentially. So as many as 6 openings right now in Major League Baseball. With a lot of good managers on the sidelines. Our friend Skip Schumacher, David Ross has been talking about, who was the Cubs manager before they kind of kicked him out the door for Craig Counsell, trying to get back into the game. It'll be an interesting hiring season coming up for potential skippers.
Yeah, I wonder. Buddy Black's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. I wonder, what he's been doing since.
Why is he not interviewing right now?
I know. Maybe he is. We have no idea. You have no idea. But does he miss it? Does he want to get back into that dugout? You know?
All right, let's check traffic, and then when we come back, we'll look at the other 3 games yesterday in Major League Baseball before Buddy Black joins us coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Got a few problems here, guys. One of them's a crash on westbound 54 right at the 805. Those vehicles are in the center divide. Also, stalled car northbound 15 just before Ocean View. It's got that right lane blocked. And South 15 added again in the North County. This time it's an accident on or near the El Norte exit. Pickup truck involved in this one. Just watch out for a little activity there. Your hunt for the perfect breakfast sandwich is over. Jack in the Box's sourdough scramblers starting at $3.49. Come with toasted sourdough, scrambled eggs, melty cheese, and your choice of hickory smoked bacon or grilled sausage. Then does you one better by being available all day. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Playoffs started just minutes after our show yesterday, and just minutes after that, the hottest team in baseball going into the postseason, the Guardians, made a mess of things. A first-inning unearned run against the Detroit Tigers, and then another unearned run off Gavin Williams on a squeeze bunt in the 7th inning. The only 2 runs the Tigers needed for Tarek Skubal, who was absolutely nasty.
That's an ace. That's what an ace looks like right there. You can have your team can have an ace, a guy you consider an ace. That's an ace right there.
14 strikeouts, 7 2/3 innings, gave up just the 1 run. And it looked like it might be enough for the Guardians to stay in that game, but Detroit pulls out the win. The coldest team going into the playoffs is now 1 win away from advancing. The hottest team 1 loss away from being eliminated on their home field. And another big mistake in the 9th inning. Jose Ramirez, the tying run, gets to third. Nobody out. And a quick comebacker on the mound, and he was caught too far off with a secondary lead, trapped between home and third, erasing the tying run for the first out. Ouch for the Guardians.
Brutal. Just as brutal of a scenario as you could come up with if you're the Guardians. The place went bananas. Bananas. Ball was thrown away. He actually kicked it down the line, involuntarily kicked it down the line and got all the way to third base. And you're like, we got it. We're at least going to tie this thing. They didn't. Very poor execution by the Cleveland Guardians. We are also very familiar with poor execution yesterday. Runners on third and less than 2 outs.
Guardians will now face elimination today, and in a surprising announcement, they are starting in center field one of their top prospects, and not one they had brought up before, making his major league debut. Chase DeLauter,
yes,
is going to start in center field for the Guardians today. I don't know how you explain that necessarily, but that is something.
Offense. You explained it because you want offense. Now, again, making your debut is got to be terrifying at the big league level. Making your debut in an elimination game in Cleveland is got to be the worst feeling of all time. And and the best. I mean, I'm sure he's tore up the minors. He's ready for it. He's playing center field. He's batting in the 7 hole. Hey, kid, go out and have some friggin' fun. They don't know anything about you. You don't know anything about them. Go out and see ball, hit ball.
Ryan Weathers did it for the Padres in 2020, making his major league debut in the postseason. No fans or anything, though. This will be a different situation for DeLauter. Meanwhile, speaking of aces, he had 2 of them on the mound at Yankee Stadium. Max Fried against Garrett Crochet.
What a game.
Yankees had the 1-0 lead on just the 1 solo home run by Anthony Volpe in the 2nd inning. Otherwise, Crochet was almost as nasty as Skubal. But
maybe more so.
But they couldn't score until they took Fried out in the top of the 7th, and Luke Weaver gave up the 2-run go-ahead single to Masataka Yoshida, and then the Red Sox added 1, so they went 3-1 to the 9th.
This was
Aroldis Chapman going for the 4-out save, loads the bases with nobody out.
3 singles.
You've got the tying run at second, the winning run at first, and he gets out of the jam with no damage. And the
bases
Boston
loaded,
Red Sox get the win in their hated enemies' ballpark in Game 1.
I think the record against the Yankees in the playoffs is they're 9-1 in their last 10 or something. They have absolutely owned them. Alex Cora said after the game, "Yeah, we feel very comfortable here." That's not what you want to hear. We know it. We experience it here with our rivals as well. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling at all. So that was a shock. And again, man, you talk about You talk about how you deploy your lineup in the postseason, Ben. I saw a lot of people, again, they left 50 home runs-ish on the bench with Ben Rice and Jazz Chisholm. Now, both of those guys have not been great against left-handed pitchers. Neither of them. Who's got great numbers off of Garrett Crochet? Actually, Ahmed Rosario had good numbers of him. They started him at second base. But what do you do? What do you do? Do you go down? You play in matchups. Do you, again, pulling Fried is another one where people are losing their minds. And Fried said,
there's talk that Aaron Boone could be out if they lose this game.
Fried said, no, I've had more. I wanted to get out of it. Again, Luke Weaver's been terrible. He's been terrible for them. So to go to him, immediately cough up the lead. What a kick in the nuts for them.
And then last night, I had a little PTSD and certainly some sympathy for Reds fans. Giving up a Shohei Ohtani bomb to start the game, and you just go, oh, it's going to be one of these kind of games. And it was. Ohtani goes deep twice. Teoscar Hernandez goes deep twice. Tommy Edman goes deep. And Blake Snell looked like very much the Blake Snell that can be a Cy Young winning ace, going 7 innings. Gave up 2 runs, but those were in the 7th when they had a giant lead, 8-0 at that point. He was fantastic with 9 strikeouts since the Dodgers get that 10-5 win. The bullpen's still an issue, but it's less of an issue when you have an 8-run lead late in the game. Now, if it's a 1 or 2 run lead, the Dodgers could still be in trouble, but an 8-run lead, they were okay, giving up a few runs late in the game to the Reds.
Yeah. I mean, it is to watch them come out and hit 5 home runs was just like, okay, they've clearly turned it on in October.
Paulie just went to get our guest. I feel like the music's going to kick in. He may have taken it off because he's coming back right now. The music didn't kick in like I was expecting it to. We are going to take a timeout. Coming up at the top of the hour, we've got a special guest in studio. You might have seen him walk in on our YouTube stream, joining us to talk baseball playoffs and more. Former Padres and Rockies skipper Bud Black going to be with us next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Very, very special day for us here. I'll introduce the crew. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And joining us live in studio, we've been wanting to do this for a long time, is the former manager of the San Diego Padres and the Colorado Rockies. The great Bud Black is joining us for the first time ever.
Let's get you right up to the microphone so
thanks,
everybody
guys.
can hear you, buddy. And it's good to
Karate
see you.
chop.
It's been a while.
Yep.
It's great to be here.
You look great.
Thank you.
Better shape than me.
Well,
me too.
here's the deal. I've over the years, I've checked in on you guys, like I mentioned prior to being live here, that you guys have done a great job.
Thank you.
Good going. I know that.
It always makes us nervous when real baseball people listen to this show.
It's like, how big of idiots are we?
Yeah,
really?
how bad is it? Do you hear some really bad opinions?
Well, actually, you guys study it.
We do.
You do.
We
And
love it.
I know
We
you
care.
I know you have a passion for it, and it's not often that you really get a true baseball station, right?
Yeah.
Across the country. I'm up in the middle of the night sometimes, and I'll turn the radio on just so I can't sleep, and it's football mania
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah. Or LeBron.
Even in the playoffs,
Yeah.
right now what's going on? They're still talking. They're talking the backup cornerback for the Lions.
It's true. I got in the car yesterday, buddy, and before I put on Sirius to listen to the Guardians-Tigers game on the way home, I flipped on Colin Cowherd. And I'm like, I just want to see. It's playoff day. It starts. A game actually just started. Will he even address the playoffs? And maybe he did later in the show. But when I turned it on, it was, what's wrong with the Chargers' offensive line? The Vikings need some offensive line help. And I'm going, the playoffs are today. Now, the weird thing is, I just saw a tweet that came out from Ben Verlander, of all people, talking about the popularity of baseball. And it is really skyrocketed. It has gone through the roof, surprisingly, because again, the national shows, like you mentioned, probably even the local shows when you were in Colorado, it was probably 90% Broncos.
Yeah, it was Broncos. Obviously since Dion's been there, a lot of Colorado football, but heavy football. Baseball, when I first got there, when we made the playoffs, it was rolling a little bit, but still, I think nationally, you're right, football has taken over, but
not for us though,
No.
my friend.
So I want to know, because you spent the last quarter of a century pretty much uninterrupted as Angels pitching coach, Padres manager, Rockies manager, and then all of a sudden you get paroled a little early.
Good behavior
in Colorado.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yes.
What does one do with himself
Yeah.
during baseball season when you're so used to doing what you do during baseball season?
Well, you're right. I'll tell you a quick story. So I got let go by the Rockies on a Sunday. So Monday, I decided I'm going to take the therapeutic drive from Denver to San Diego, and I left like at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm driving. Now I'm into Utah. Like it's 7:30, 8 o'clock. Phone rings. It's George Brett. He goes, Blackie, you can now come to the reunion. The Royals had a 40-year reunion of the World Series team. He goes, hey, hang with them that you got fired. You come to the reunion this weekend. And, we started talking. And then, after that, a couple other guys called on the drive, Gubazaw, Charlie Leibrandt, a lot of my buddies about this reunion for the Royals. And so long story short, I ended up going to the reunion. I went to the Cleveland Indian 30-year reunion of the World Series team. I went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, guys, on a trip up there for 10 days, did some fly fishing, took the whole family up there, a little bit of golf, been to the beach.
Can I get fired today? I'd like to be fired today.
All the stuff we can't do as uniform personnel for from February till October, but still, I've been connected to baseball. I still watch when I can. I still follow the guys that I'm close with. Players, coaches, teams. Flag football, little league baseball. Little league stuff. I got some grandkids. I think your age sons.
Yep.
So doing all that stuff.
Which is great. I mean, it's so much fun. You talk to a lot of former athletes and they get out of the game, and there are certain guys that are happy to be done, right? They're just like, I did it. It was great. I'm going to move on to broadcasting, or I'm going to be a consultant or financial analyst or whatever it is. For you, does the itch still exist after being let go early in the year?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going to play out here, this winter, but I want to stay in the game. I've talked to a couple teams about a couple potential roles. We'll see how this all plays out moving forward. But I feel good. My energy level's high. I love the game. I love the players. I love the people in the game. And that's everybody, right? It's not just, front office players, media, just, everybody involved. I think it's I love this game. My family's behind me. They want me to keep going in some regards. So we'll see. But, the itch is still there. And you can listen, you look at other head coaches, managers. Boch came back.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll came back. I mean, guys come back.
Sure, no doubt.
So,
if you ever,
you're half their age.
Yeah,
exactly. If you ever want to give pitching lessons and charge for it, I will pay. For my 7-year-old and burgeoning pitcher has really, really gotten into pitching. And but no, I mean, the love of the game is very obvious.
And something I wanted to ask you, because when you were first hired by the Padres and then the Rockies, I think there was a thought that this was going to open the door for pitching coaches to start becoming managers, because it's never really been the avenue to go from pitching coach to manager. Hasn't really happened. And we've got a guy in Ruben Niebla, who I think is a phenomenal pitching coach here in San Diego, but I don't know, will he ever get a chance to manage a big league club? It remains a bit of a glass ceiling, and you've been one of the only guys to kind of break through. Why do you think that is?
I think for the longest time, there was the pitching coach is such a valuable part of an organization, and you sort of get bottled into that. And it's more about, I think, the person than any other aspect, right? If a player or somebody who gets into coaching has those abilities, regardless of the position, I think that's what matters the most. But, I think, ex-pitchers were sort of viewed in this window of just only knowing pitching. And believe me, if I didn't go to Anaheim as the pitching coach and learn from Scioscia, Joe Madden, Ron Renicky, Mickey Hatcher, Alfredo Griffin, I probably wouldn't have been set up to come to the Padres. But it's more about the person. I think but I think overall there was a perception that, pitchers were just bottled into all they know is pitching. They don't know the complete game.
But they know hitting so well. I mean, a lot of great hitters go to the pitchers and say, how would you get me out? Right. And that, I think that's so valuable. I wanted to ask you.
Vice versa.
And vice versa.
I learned more from Hal McRae and others about my style.
Sure.
So it works both ways for sure.
When I look at your managerial career and I look at some of the teams you managed, is there ever a lamenting by you? Because, looking back and saying, man, I really, give me the Dodgers and see what would happen, right? Give me these Padres and see what would happen. It's natural, right? Like I do it with radio. I do it with radio all the time. If this show was around 20 years ago with what those guys are making, we'd be millionaires right now with the numbers we put up. It's hard not to let it kind of eat you alive sometimes.
Well, that's just the way it is. And, I think all of us in the game know that, there's only 30 of these positions. And, a lot of times you can't pick them. Some guys can. But again, that's just the way it is. And we sort of joke about it at times amongst the guys that I'm close with, some managers in the game. But we all know that, there's 30, there's 30 different teams, and we all have different constraints and issues. And everybody, even though we all go through it, we all have, all different types of issues that we are presented to us, regardless of the organization, regardless how good that club is.
Sure.
Everybody's listening. I got a text message says, "Tell Harry Black that Marvin Agler says hello." That would be our friend Jesse. Why do you call him Marvin?
Well, when I first met him, the very first time he introduced himself. "Hey, I'm Jesse Agler," and I said, "Hey, Jesse, Marvin Agler." So
Agler,
yeah. So that's how he's a beauty. I met Jesse right when he came to San Diego, and we've watched him grow.
Yeah.
I mean, and
legendary.
Listen to him. He's doing a really great job. I'm really happy for where his career has went. But He's a good one.
I also saw Uncle Teddy yesterday. He told me to say hello as well. He said one of my favorites all time.
Yeah.
Went through a lot of Padres managers over the years since the early 1980s when he got to San Diego, and he said Buddy Black, definitely one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah. You're in one of those positions too, talking to Bud Black here on Ben and Woods live in studio. In one of those positions too, I remember after you got let go, there were a couple articles written about the Rockies as an organization and how behind I think they were in some aspects. And, we've had those articles written about us here in San Diego. You make adjustments. The thing is, they haven't really made those adjustments there yet. And, it does feel like one of those organizations, same with maybe Pittsburgh and things like that had just seemed to be behind a little bit. How hard was that for you to reconcile as the guy that's supposed to go out and win baseball games?
Well, it's, I know
or
that
how true are those things?
I think that, when you're in that chair and you're part of it, you're always talking about, the processes that need to take place. So, I mean, again, the Rockies have done some things in the last couple of years, right? A pitching lab was built in Scottsdale. They have, there's been a turnover in the analytic department. They're trying to beef that up. So the process is happening as we speak. They're trying hard to, to do within their means to get, up to speed. And nobody's going to catch, some of the teams that have, huge revenue streams who can really build out departments. But, the Rockies are doing as much as they can, as other clubs are trying to do some things too. But it still comes down to, in a lot, it's a blend of all that, Woodsy. It's a blend of, scouting, player development, analytics, working that all together. And I know that the Rocks are doing everything they can, to try to get there.
Well, and as it can be such a dirty word with so many players. I see it, or so many former players, former managers. We saw it all over Twitter last night. Oh, here we go again. Aaron Boone managing by the analytics instead of the feel and all that. It's really like the worst job of all time. I mean, it's got to be like the worst job in the history. You have control over things, right? You have control in that maybe you make the lineup card, you guys get together, you make the lineup, then the game starts and your third baseman swinging at sliders out of the zone. You're like, it's not really on me, but I'm going to take the fall for this. And do you think generally, there is a lack of feel by a lot of managers these days?
I don't think so. I think, to get a managerial position, I mean, you have to have the wherewithal going in to be able to handle it. And I again, I mean, you said it. I mean, you have a lot of things under your control, but once the game starts, the true battle between the pitcher and the catcher is there. The infielder and the ground ball, the outfielder and the fly. I mean, all those things that's competition. That's what happens in the game. But, I really feel that all managers are equipped to handle all this. And the things you have to go through, the things that we have to go through on a daily basis, on a hourly basis, sometimes on a minute basis, is a lot more than what people think.
Oh, no question.
I do want to ask, now that you're no longer with the Rockies, you can feel free to be honest about this, and it's been driving us crazy for years. How did Charlie Blackmon always own just the Padres every single time?
What did we do to him? Did we cut him? Did we not give him a look? Like
I know that the career numbers were really good.
Oh my God,
I think like 600 or something.
Astronomical.
I'm not sure, but I mean, I'll say this. I mean, of all the players that I've had, I'll go back to Anaheim and then San Diego. I mean, Charlie's in my top 5 of guys who, really did it right. I mean, what a student of the game. He's really sort of a self-made player. A junior college pitcher. Went to Texas in summer ball as a collegian, turned himself into a hitter. But whatever it is, he just had a way over the Padres. I'm not sure why.
Felt good,
but he was. I just know this. He had the same effort level, same intensity against all 29 other teams as well. It just so happened that whether he saw the ball better here at Petco, whether he was able to see the ball better against Padre pitchers at Coors, not sure. But I always felt good about Charlie. when he was playing the Pods.
Pencil him in every single time for sure.
We're going to take a quick time out. Buddy Black's in studio, is going to be with us. And when we come back, we'll get the answer to the question that everybody wants to know. How would you have managed yesterday's game better than Mike Schilt and won it for the San Diego Padres? We'll get to that coming up next after a quick timeout. Checking traffic. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, very much appreciate Buddy Black being in here this morning, but also wanted to tell you guys, all the tier ones out there, if you are struggling with debt and you feel a little underwater in your house, you can certainly get a better rate right now with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto, been a longtime sponsor of this show. Very much appreciate that partnership. They're delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Their rate reduction home loan program, streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR. Close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And the kicker, you could skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Rates this low will not last, so call Loan Pronto now for a free, no-obligation quote. Call 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. Lock in that new low rate. Skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Back, we're live with Bud Black in studio and Ben Woods on a playoff morning. Padres taking on the Cubs, 12:08 again here on 97.3 The Fan. And obviously, I mean, do you even like to play, armchair manager when you're not actually really managing like the rest of us live for, apparently, especially in a big game like the playoffs? I know.
I actually don't. I don't like doing it.
The only thing, and you guys have heard this before, and I've said it. I mean, the manager and the coaching staff know the players more than anybody.
Yep.
Right.
Intimately.
And as much as you guys and fans talk about the game, the coaches and the manager and the organization talk about it times 10.
Yeah.
So they know their personnel. They know, what's going on, to a T with all these players. So I think it's natural. Whether, in baseball, I always know there's a reason behind certain things, even when things look real funky. And, there are things that, some players will do on their own out of nowhere that, might be a little raise your eyebrow a little bit, even as a manager in game. And you guys know in football, right? I mean, I've watched football, I think we all know a little bit of football, but I never question why did we run on 3rd and 4? Why didn't we pass?
Right.
But I think it's natural, and that's part of the beauty of sports, right? Is to I don't know whether it's questions a word, but talk about a player or something that happened.
Well, I've learned a lot in doing this show with Ben and Paul and talking to the fans and talking to skippers and I've learned a lot. So what I don't do anymore is I don't really question like the bullpen decisions because I've said many times, not only is managing the worst job of all time, managing a bullpen has got to be it got to keep you up at night sometimes.
That's the thing that the manager has to be the best at.
The best.
I mean, that's the thing that, any young manager who's asked me, give me some advice, and, we'll talk about many things, but, the number one priority this day and age is handling the pitching staff.
And again, it comes down to, I would assume before the game, it would be, how are you feeling? Got one for me today? Like what?
Yeah.
And all that stuff goes into those decisions. Yeah. Nobody makes any decisions willy-nilly. Like, my gut tells me, it's more of like, I talk to him. As Mikey Varas, the head coach of SDFC, our soccer team here, said, I have to smell the locker room. I have to smell it. And when I look at these guys in the eye, I need to know, I can trust you or I can't trust you.
You're right. There's all of that. And Joe Madden and I used to talk about this. There's 3 things that you form your decision on about players, right? The heart, what your heart says about a decision, what your gut says about a decision, and what your head says about a decision.
3 totally different things.
And really, if you manage by your gut, you manage by your heart, or you manage by your head. The best way to go is manage by your head. By your, what you're thinking, your brain, what your brain tells you. The next best thing is your gut. The last thing is your heart.
Yeah.
And the heart's the toughest kind because you care about players.
Yeah,
you have empathy for players. But those 3 things always come to mind. I think the real good leaders, the real good decision makers always think about their brain, and those other 2 things come into play, right? Because there are some decisions that you sort of feel in your gut that are right. And there's some decisions in your heart, whether to, maybe start this player because you love him and he's going to perform today. You just know it. And you just sort of feel it in your heart. It's going to happen. And I think we've all been there in certain things. But, the brain still is the one that wins out the most.
Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough.
Buddy, we always talk about baseball. It's different than the other sports. 162 games, playing every day. As a manager, you clearly have to manage for the long term. It can't be just today and we'll worry about tomorrow over 6 months. And then the playoffs arrive, and it's almost like a completely different sport in a certain way. You had a couple opportunities, obviously, with the Rockies in the postseason. You had a game 163 with everything on the line for the Padres. How do you approach the playoffs compared to the regular season?
Yeah, those are it's completely different. Right?
It's like a whole new job.
It is. It's crazy. Even going back to my early years in Anaheim when we made the playoffs and talking to Mike and Joe as we went through a number of seasons in the playoffs in our World Series run and then to San Diego. It's just different. It's just different. But in what makes it even more difficult is a game like today with the Padres, right? This is it, and the other 3 teams who are on the brink of being eliminated. You sort of, everything goes out the door, and you just have to win that game and use every resource you can. But I'll assure you this, that Mike and his staff and AJ, who's in Chicago, and the Padre personnel are there. They're talking about all this stuff,
grinding
how to go through it today, and they talked about it in the days prior to this as well too, how this was all going to set up in all the different scenarios. But playoff baseball is different. Now a 7-game series, it's a little bit more like it, right?
Yeah.
When you get into the ALCS and the World Series, it's a little bit more, mapped out, planned out, a little bit more like a potential regular season. But you get down to games like this, man, heads up.
I was just going to ask, like, how much different is it, in a 5-game or a 7-game series facing an elimination? Guys have, the rotations moved around a little bit. Like, to face elimination after 1 game, you're like, you still have all of your pitchers essentially available. Yeah. That would make the decisions so much more difficult, I think. Yeah, in a 7-game series, like, well, he pitched yesterday, he can't go again today. But you're like, we have Darvish, Cease, Michael King, like,
they're all
Vasquez,
there. Yeah.
Everyone's available.
Those are the super tough ones, man. Yeah, I mean, like I caught you guys just a little bit driving in about Cease and what to do here.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, the staff knows, all their players more than we do. But, those are the hairy ones, and you just don't know how this game's going to play out, because every game that starts, it's a blank canvas. You don't know, and it's going to be painted one way or another from the very first pitch on, and the game will tell you, in a sense, what to do. It really will.
And I say it all the time on the show. It doesn't matter what level of baseball you're playing or coaching. I don't know that people really grasp how fast the game is, right? Yeah. Like, it speeds up so quickly. Now, with many, many, many years of experience, having played in the big leagues, slows down a little bit for guys like yourself. But, for the new manager, the manager of the Marlins, who's been in the game too, but it's so fast. Yeah. People don't realize how quickly things can spiral out of control. A pass ball yesterday, it's a whole different scenario with Estrada throwing that pass ball or wild pitch or whatever it was. Everything changes just in the drop of a hat. Yeah. It is. Can you speak to the speed of the game? Yeah,
I think you're all, from experience, certain situations, that potentially are going to come up. So you're always thinking ahead about, all things that could happen.
Yeah.
From the pitching side, who's on deck, who's in the hole, who's after that guy, their bench. So you really have to be in tune with that. And, years of experience, even as a player, you sort of feel those things coming on. But you're right. And it's hard to really explain the swiftness that could be upon you at any moment. But that's why it's, for a fan or anybody who loves baseball, it'd probably be fun for them to sit with an ex-manager or an ex-player or coach and really watch a 9-inning game.
I bet
and talk about it after every single pitch and what your eyes tell you. But you're right; it moves fast, and I say I think managers very rarely in this day and age get caught off guard because if you got caught off guard too often, you wouldn't manage.
Correct.
You wouldn't be in that chair. So, and again, your coaches are there to help you, all those things that happen during the course of a game.
Amazing.
Got Bud Black in studio. And before we go to break, a little breaking news out of Colorado. Not going to put you on the spot. You can react to this or not, but in Denver, they were reporting that Rockies GM Bill Schmidt is departing the Rockies. The team will immediately begin an external search for a new head of baseball operations. Schmidt's been there a long time, about quarter of a century, putting together Rockies team. So a new direction for your old organization now in Denver.
We read a piece about them last year. Like, half the staff has been employed there for like 30
years.
Been
there for a long time.
Billy's a great baseball man from Orange County originally. He started his career with the Yankees. Worked way back with some longtime great baseball men. We connected in Cleveland for the very first time when I was just as a player, and I sort of after I got released, got into their front office. Billy and I worked together, did some advanced scouting for the Indians in the late '90s, and then reunited again in Colorado. But Billy's like all of us, passionate about baseball. Is a great baseball man. Like anything, it's tough, it's hard, and there's changes. Obviously that happen in this game, right? The news with Boch, sort of caught me off guard. The Bob Melvin situation caught me off guard as well. So it's the nature of leadership in professional sports these days, all sports.
You're hired to get fired, right?
Oh my God. And even Mike in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years ago, that was, didn't see that one coming.
No, nobody did.
I mean, that was, some great managing there, some success. So you never know. But again, as far as the Rockies go, guys, I know their owner, he loves the Rockies. He loves baseball. They'll figure it out.
Well, I don't know if you want to make any easy money as a broadcaster going forward. You certainly could. We'll give you a little test. You can put your analyst hat on. We can talk about the wild card series going on.
Well, we're not gonna go play against Woods.
No,
you can
take
classic rock.
You
70s.
can take me on if you want
to take on Woods.
I would love to do it.
I'm all here for it.
70s rock, Ben. Right?
I will come up. I will find the right category for you, and we'll have Buddy Black take on Woods.
Or we can talk about Scooble's punch outs. And
we can do both. I think we got one more segment with Buddy Black.
I want to talk bunting.
We can do both of those things coming up in our last segment. Let's take a quick timeout. More with Bud Black in studio with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Coming up next. If you want to play your own manager, though, and set your own daily fantasy sports lineups, you can do so with Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy for everybody. You can actually turn your sports watching and sports knowledge into actual money with Prize Picks. You're just picking against the numbers, setting lineups between 2 and 6 players, up more or less. If it's baseball, watching game today, Fernando Tatis Jr., more or less than 1.5 runs, RBIs plus hits. For Manny Machado, more or less than half a home run. You can win big by putting more players into your lineup with Prize Picks, or you can go a little more conservatively. Put 4 players, do a flex play where only 3 need to win, and you can cash out winnings that way. So many different ways to play with Prize Picks. They also let you follow other Prize Picks players. You got a favorite on there. You can follow with your lineups in one click, and then just copy and paste and go right into your lineup every single day. You do it the way you want to do it. Just make sure when you do it, you sign up at prizepicks.com and use the code KWFN. When you sign up, you're going to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup by using code KWFN at Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Comes in studio and wants to play Take on Woods. We
I'm
play
blown away.
Take on Woods.
I'm
Here's
blown
what
away.
we're going to do. We're going to have a listener call in, and Bud's going to play for a listener for a chance to qualify for the Eagles in Las Vegas. So if you want to call now, 833-288-0973. We'll put you on hold. We'll let you say hi to Buddy, and then Buddy's going to play Woods for a chance for the Eagles in Las Vegas. We'll do that coming up after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury. Here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic is brought to you by Park 101 in Carlsbad, North County's football headquarters. Crash being cleared out of middle lanes on southbound 5 coastline near Tamarack. Also an accident clearing from the El Norte Parkway off-ramp of southbound 15. Now an accident westbound King Freeway near Federal. This one is in the center of Vibe, but fire crews got that left lane blocked and getting reports of a car fire on northbound 125 just before Navajo Road. It's mostly over to the right shoulder and northbound side of the 805 before Mesa College. Collision involving couple vehicles. Looks like this one is in middle lanes. Football is back, and Park 101 in Coastal Carlsbad is your game day headquarters, 10,000 square feet, 19 TVs, Bills, Packers, club specials, cocktails, and ice-cold beer. Park 101 in Carlsbad Village, North County's home for football. And Kelly Danek, Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Take on Woods, brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. We've got Bud Black as our contestant, but the first caller is Jocelyn. Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi, good morning, you guys.
Say hi to Buddy. He's going to be playing for you for the
Okay.
chance to qualify for the Eagles at the Sphere.
Coach, I know Dana Olson, my daughter's 4th grade teacher. That's a longtime friend of your daughter.
Right.
Just had to say that, and I love you.
But no
And
extra
good luck.
pressure, right? Okay.
No, yeah.
All right, so if Buddy can beat or tie Woods, you will qualify for the grand prize trip to the Eagles at the Venetian, 2 nights, the tickets to the show at the Sphere, the VIP package, the $100 gas card, all of it. You can get your own tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Now, you know the rules, Buddy. You've heard the game before.
I do know
All
the
right,
rules.
so
Yes.
we've got all 2-second songs. The category, I pulled this one specially for you. It's called King of the Jungle. We have 5 songs that all include the word jungle in the title. Paulie's got the little music. He's going to play you each clip. You're going to have 60 seconds to try to identify as many of the 5 songs as you can. If you don't know, you can say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. And you need to give me the title of the song and the artist to score the full point. So you got it? You good to go?
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
You got this.
First off, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I would be
Let's
too.
go.
A little bit
All right,
different.
So remember the
being in your
category
car, right?
King of the Jungle.
King of
Jungle
the
in
Jungle.
every
Oh,
title.
God, jungle.
60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Bud Black. Let's take on Woods.
Jungle Love Steve Miller Band.
Correct. Song number 2.
Welcome to the Jungle.
By?
Bon Jovi.
Oh, so close. Song number 3.
Pass.
Song number 4.
Get down, get down.
Tough game.
Pass.
Don't. Okay, song number 5.
Creedence Clearwater
Yes.
Revival.
Gotta
Category. What's the category?
Running through the jungle.
Yes, song number 3.
Pink Floyd.
It's Jethro Tull, Bungle in the Jungle. Cool in the Gang, Jungle Boogie. And
Yes.
Guns N' Roses, it was a great guess. 2.5. I'm giving you 2.5 there for Welcome to the Jungle. All right, let's bring Woods back in. He's gonna run through this category,
Yeah,
buddy.
he'll be
I
just
think so.
fine.
But
God,
Jocelyn,
dang it.
we'll see. We'll see. Buddy's score is locked in. Woods doesn't get the category. It makes it a little tougher. Let's put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Bud Black.
Jungle Love by Steve Miller Band.
Correct. Song number 2.
Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses.
Correct. Song number 3.
Oh, pass.
Song number 4.
Get down, get down.
Jungle Boogie. Casey of the Sunshine
No!
Band.
Song number 5.
Run Through the Jungle by CCR.
Correct. Song number 3.
I don't know this one.
You don't know that
Jungle
one?
Taint?
You just snuck out the win, though.
Oh,
just
beat it.
barely. Bungle in the Jungle by Jethro Tull.
Okay.
And it's
Should've
Cool in
known.
the Gang is Jungle Boogie.
So
But,
close.
yeah.
3-2?
Sorry, Jocelyn.
Good going.
Good try, buddy. It was a very good game.
Dang.
A very good game today of Take on Woods.
Well, you got outmanaged. I mean, it happens from time to time. You know, it happens. It happens. It's all right.
All right, let's.
Ooh, I'm sweaty.
You're both nervous.
God, this is great.
All right,
My
makes
heart was beating.
playoff
It's
baseball
like,
seem
being,
like a
being in the dugout.
That's right.
piece of cake. Let's quickly go through some of the series here quickly. Just your observations. We got some close games yesterday. I mean, Yankees, Red Sox came down to the wire. Guardians, Tigers came down to the wire in the 9th inning. I mean, it's what you want as a fan, buddy. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I think the theme of yesterday, right? And the Padre game fit right into that was the situational hitting, right? The opportunity to get guys in with less than 2 outs from third base. In all those games, didn't happen. It goes to the quality of the pitching these days, the stuff, right, that guys are throwing, and how hard it is to hit. But the team that does put the ball in play in those situations, and these games are going to win. Nico Horner's at bat against Estrada after the split finger wild pitch.
Yep.
That short little stroke that's sac fly to center field that added their third run, sort of typified what a hitter needs to do in those situations. But it's just the situational hitting was the thing that stood out for me yesterday, and the great pitching, bullpen work across those 3 games, was what I was looking at.
And I wanted to ask you too, not to shift gears away from the playoffs, but I didn't want to let you go before asking you what a nightmare it was to manage in Coors Field, because as a fan, I'll tell you, I mean, I'd like to go play in Dodger Stadium, take on the Dodgers with all their boppers and their great pitching. It's like, all right, I feel like we have a chance. The games against the Rockies are the ones that make me nauseous, because I'm like, with talent, we should win, right? But it's baseball. Anything can happen. And I watch those games. And I go, it's a house of horrors. I mean, what do you tell your pitchers like when they sign there or when they get there?
This is to answer this in full.
It'll take like an hour.
Yeah, we need a whole afternoon, or we need happy hour and beyond.
Yes,
right, to go through this. But it's a different game. I think every manager, player, coach will tell you who's gone through Coors Field in the 30 years and Mile High Stadium. It's just different because of the altitude. And I think in the long term, once the Rockies get their roster to the point where it can be really a home field advantage, because pitching staffs that come in are terrified, but on the other hand, the hitters come in and are happy. They can't wait to get there. So, but managing there, and going back to what I said about managing the pitching staff, it's critical. For 81 games there as the home team manager, you have to really be aware of your pitching staff, what's going on physically, and what's going on mentally, right? You need a certain type of pitcher, and you really need a certain type of player to play there in Coors Field. And I know that managers and coaches that come in for a 3 or 4 game series a couple times a year as a Western Division foe, they've come to realize that they got to do things differently. Right. You might have to keep your starter in there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You got to save your bullpen because you never know how a game's going to play out. Because you get late in the game, no lead is safe, and it's hairy. It gets super dicey.
Those guys that have so much confidence in being able to spin the baseball, and they realize I just spun this like I normally do, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah,
you have to tattooed it.
A breaking ball will work, but you got to have a really good breaking ball.
Yeah.
You got to really be able to consistently, hit it right out front at the your release point, everything to make it really work in altitude. But it can be done. But it makes pitching a little bit different.
Yeah.
All that great situational hitting, all that great bullpen work, and then there's the Dodgers who just go out and hit 5 home runs with Shohei Ohtani, and you had to deal with them too. I mean, they're a threat, they're a force.
That's what they do. Yeah. It's no secret that they talk about the home run, and again, in history of the game, home runs will in the 100-year history of the game, home runs will win games. Right?
What about Bunting?
Why we don't have time for that conversation.
Why? I need an hour with him.
I know. Let's bring Buddy Black back at some point, because that was an enjoyable hour. I really enjoy. I think for the tier ones as well, they really appreciate you coming down and joining us today.
I tell you what, guys, that went fast.
It did. It went really fast.
And let me thank you for letting me take on Woods.
You're welcome.
You're incredible.
Thank you.
Actually, I think I caught the show when you just got back from London.
Yeah,
you saw
from
Oasis.
England, yeah.
That was sort of fun to listen to.
That was a blast.
But anyway, thanks, guys. Paul,
thank you so much
for reaching out.
Of course.
We got some connections from being from the Northwest, and Ben, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, buddy.
I know we didn't talk about the Ryder Cup.
Fine,
I saw it up there on
we
the
can
TV
do that off
here,
the air
but yeah.
next. We got Mike Schilt press conference coming up at the top of the hour.
All
We'll
right.
take you out to Wrigley Field and more. Final hour of Ben and Woods coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away. All right, final hour of Ben and Woods. Thanks again to Buddy Black for coming in studio this past hour. A very, very enjoyable treat for us, and hopefully Tier 1's felt the same way.
That was incredible. Loved it.
All right, a couple pieces of business before we go out to Wrigley Field, and you will hear from Mike Schilt before Game 2. A reminder, once again, we're going to be live at the watch party this afternoon at Park 101 in Carlsbad. Game starts at 12:08. Game 2, Park 101, bi-level sports bar, rooftop deck, huge screens, barbecue, craft cocktails, and more. We're going to give away autographed baseballs and autographed Xander jersey, all presented by Estrella Jalisco Light Mexican Lager. That's today at noon, Park 101. 3040 Carlsbad Boulevard in the Carlsbad Village. And before we get to Mike Schilt, and he's going to talk about it, we have a lineup out for Game 2 of the San Diego Padres Wild Card Series against the Chicago Cubs. The subtle differences between Game 1 and Game 2. Let's see how savvy you are as Woods goes through the lineup.
Okay. Playing right field, leading off is Fernando Tatis Jr. Playing first base and batting second is Luis Ariz. Playing third base, batting third, Manny Machado.
Got it.
Playing center field in the cleanup spot. I say again, the cleanup spot, Jackson Merrill.
So far, similar, very similar to yesterday's. Keep going.
Xander Bogaerts will play shortstop and hit fifth. Ryan O'Hearn will be designated hitter. And then Gavin Sheets will be in left. And Jake Cronenworth will be at second.
Okay.
And then Frederick Fermin will be catching.
All right. So after yesterday's game, in which the Padres only scored one run and were exploited their left-handed lane at the bottom, Mike Schilt has savvily tweaked his lineup.
No, not even a
by
little.
Starting Dylan Cease instead of instead of Nick Pivetta in Game 2. Otherwise, exactly the same.
Otherwise,
All right.
exactly
Well,
the
you dance with the girl you brought to the dance, apparently. Whatever that expression. Ben McDonald will say it in a very
dance with who brung you.
very folksy way.
Yeah, very folksy way. Okay.
All right.
I hope it works.
Yeah.
Again, sets up nicely for Shota Imanaga.
Sets up nicely for Andrew Kittredge.
Two righties.
Gets two righties in the first three batters. That's what Craig Counsell was going for. Mike Schilt, obliging. Here are your two righties that you get for your opener. And then switching over to Shota Imanaga, who will have that lefty lane at the bottom of the order. And then presumably second time through, we'll just have to face the top of the order once and then get through the lefty lane again the second time through. Of course, the Cubs do not have to treat this like an elimination game, as they have a bit of a safety cushion called Game 3 if they don't win this one either. So that's kind of interesting how he has to manage, knowing that I can make sure my bullpen is rested and ready for Game 3 if we do win. They don't have to deploy everybody the way that Mike Schilt does to make sure they win this game, but will they just want to get it done? And, better chance going into a Milwaukee series with an extra day off if they win today. How desperate will the Chicago Cubs be in Game 2 today?
I mean, they're going to want to end this.
They're going to want to win for sure.
They want to win.
But do you chase, like if you're trailing 3-1, do you chase with your top relievers, or do you bring in some of your lower leverage guys and save fresh relievers for Game 3 tomorrow?
I do get the sense that they're going to go after the win. I do. I think they're going to go after the win. That means you'll see Palencia again, probably Pomeranz. I mean, I think you'll go for a win.
All right, you just heard the lineup. Let's hear from the man who filled it out. Our coverage of postseason press conferences is presented by Trust and Will. Don't wait for extra innings. Protect your family's estate today with Trust and Will. Here's Mike Schilt from Wrigley Field.
AJ over here on the right.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, AJ.
Obviously, the Cubs are going with a little bit of a different pitching strategy today. I'm wondering if that tempted you at all to move things around in your lineup and why you ultimately settled on going with the same group.
I actually like the lineup against righties. Toddy's been really good against righties. Louis better against righties. Manny's splitty, and Jackson's better against righties. So I feel pretty good about our lineup.
The 6, 7, 8 lane, obviously those guys are all going to face lefties, and you know that going in. What gives you confidence in what they can do against left-handed pitching? Is it given what they've done this season?
Yeah, the same thing that people wrote about, talked about, pontificated about all season. There was a time where, I didn't play the lefties and people were going crazy. All right. So we have lefties that are really talented and they're going to play and they're going to hit. And they've been doing it since they were old enough to pick up a bat. I had a lineup in 2010 in Johnson City, had 6 straight left-handed hitters. Yeah, won the league and set a league record for wins. So, I think we're going to be okay.
A few more for Mike. AJ.
this team obviously has a lot of experience in these kind of games.
Right.
How much do they draw on that when it is a game like today where it is win or go home?
Yeah, I think there's no question. There's a group that has experience. There's a talented team. Like I said yesterday at the end of the game, we were definitely disappointed. Clearly rather be up 1-0 than down. But this is a group that believes themselves, has been there, done that, is going to show up and play as good a baseball game as we can possibly play again. Played a good game yesterday, just didn't go our way.
Go to Sam on the left side in the back.
Mike, what did you like about having Dylan on the mound here in game 2 today?
Well, Dylan's, first of all, he's one of the best strikeout guys in the league. He's had success in this town. He's had success in this stadium against this club. And he's got, 2 elite pitches that, on a given day can dominate. So, there's a lot to like.
Come over here, middle on the right.
What kind of presence has Dylan been for your team all season long? Obviously, his numbers maybe aren't exactly where he would want them to be, but just in general, what does it mean to see him go to the mound every time?
Yeah, quite a bit, actually. We've had 2 consistent guys that have taken the ball basically every 5 or 6 days, depending on how we've been able to parcel out the rest. But, Dylan's been fantastic as far as taking the ball and posting, and, you're going to get a plus heater and a plus slider, and that's all we can ask for.
Anything else for Mike? AJ?
I guess the fact that Dylan had some ups and downs this season and kind of always saw the optimism in him being able to put it together and then kind of sort of did down the stretch. What does that say to kind of about Dylan's kind of makeup, given the struggles he went through and kind of the way he was able to move through them?
Yeah, I think, we talked about your question earlier, which was a good one, relative to the experience of the team. There's also experience that Dylan has, right? This guy's been a Cy Young nominee. He's pitched well for us, in the past. He's an established guy in the league, one of the better guys in the league more consistently. So because of that body of work, when things don't go as well, inside yourself in this league, I've done this. So he draws upon that. We draw upon that. And then here we go today.
There is Mike Schilt, pregame manager of your San Diego Padres.
When I say stand by, that means get off your phone.
I didn't hear you. I had my feet up on the desk.
Stand by because we're about to come back.
Remember your Johnson City Padres taking on the Chicago Cubs with the lefty heavy lineup. Hey, it worked in 2010 in Johnson City.
It worked in Johnson City.
I know when he said
here.
The pundits were
going crazy.
I thought of you.
Me?
I thought of you.
Me?
I
Just
did.
me?
I thought of you.
What are you talking about?
And I know what you're going to say. This is not the lineup you were hoping to see today. I also know that Mike Schilt has an uncanny ability of being able to throw things back in our faces later.
Fine.
Hope
I'd
he
love
has
to
that.
see it.
Hope he gets to do that again tomorrow.
Me too.
I feel like I'm kind of like you. I feel like I might have mixed things up a little bit today with that lineup, but he said he had reasons. The man has reasons, and he likes Toddy and he likes Manny against righties just as much as against lefties, so he wasn't going to change things up just because Craig Counsell was going with an opener. And he thinks the lefties are his guys, even against lefties at the bottom of the order. So he's not going to make that change. He's not going to push the panic button with the season on the line for the San Diego Padres.
Okay.
We don't really get much say in the lineup, so you just got to eat the lineup that's put in front of you.
You eat the soup. They give you the soup. You can
This is the soup today.
You either eat it.
This is the soup du jour.
Or you don't. And the soup du jour is the leftover soup from yesterday. It's the exact same
The
soup.
problem is, sometimes soup is better the next day. I will say that.
Chili is better the next day.
You reheat it the next day, it's actually better than it was the first day.
You're like in line and you can see behind the glass. You're like, I want that soup though. Like, no, you don't have that. No, it's right there. I'm looking at it. It's in your system. You've got it.
No, it's the soup from yesterday. And we're going to just reheat it. And yes, there's going to be that soup skin on the top of it. It's broccoli cheddar. And it's got that
skin,
that oily skin on the top.
You have to break through it.
You got to break through it. And then you get
Give
a
it a
little
good stir.
You don't know when you take a bite, is this soup skin or is this broccoli?
It sticks to the bottom of the spoon.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, I hope it works. Obviously, I don't want the season over.
0 for 11 at the top of the order.
You got to figure it out,
He's not
boys.
going to cut it.
Yep.
They had some 0 for 11s this season. They lost most of those games. They also had some good games this season where the top of the order mashed. and they won those games. I think that, to me, is where game 2 will be decided. Can Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Arraez, Manny Machado come up with some hits, some big hits, maybe even one that goes over the fence?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Conditions look like they're going to be about the same. Wind slightly blowing in.
Yep.
Should favor pitchers, but not impossible to get the ball out of the yard, as we saw yesterday from Seiya Suzuki and from Carson Kelly. You can hit a home run with the wind blowing in. It's not a gale force wind. It's just a gentle breeze off of Lake Michigan.
We need Manny Machado to come through. We need Fernando Tatis Jr. to come through. If they don't, I'm not saying you can't win, but it's going to make it incredibly. It
would be surprising.
It would be
to
surprising
win without either of those guys coming through.
We did it this year. The bottom of this lineup carried the team for stretches. Manny carried the team for stretches. Toddy carried the team for stretches. Again, I don't have faith, but I do have hope. I don't have faith that they will get it done. I do have hope that they will get it done, which is really all anybody has is hope. And they do say it's the hope that kills you. It might today if the season ends today. That's going to be pretty unfortunate because I think this team is better than I think this team is better. I think they can absolutely beat this team 2 days in a row, but you can't win twice in a row until you win once. You got to win today or your season's over and you're going to Cancun.
I mean, it's baseball. The Colorado Rockies could go in
and win 2 games.
And win 2 games on the road.
Yep.
I mean, it didn't happen often, but it did happen.
The Angels beat the Dodgers 6 times this year.
Yeah.
6.
It's baseball.
6.
So there's always a fighting chance in a game like this. When you're talking about a team has an advantage, it's usually like, they have 54% to 46. It still comes down to a lot of coin flip situations, a lot of swings that either are barreled up or slightly missed by about 2 millimeters. The difference between home run and not a home run. That's what it will come down to today, but the Padres need their top performers to perform to give them the best chance. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, I believe we'll head back to Wrigley Field, and Jake Cronenworth going to be the next one to speak, so we'll bring you some more press.
We're just going to actually go through.
We
just
are.
keep going.
We can keep going. We don't have to wait.
We're going to go
Jake
commercial
up
free
yet?
till the bottom.
Okay, is Jake up?
Looks like he's getting ready.
He's getting ready. All right, just let me know. We'll stay here then, and we'll go out to Jake live.
Here we go.
Well, let's go out to Jake
Generally,
Cronenworth.
what is the mindset? What is the vibe coming into a game today where you have to win?
Yeah. No, I think you kind of nailed it. Like, everybody goes to sleep last night knowing that, we got to show up today and give it everything we got from the first pitch to the last pitch. And I think that's what also makes these games great sometimes is, everybody's pulling for each other and the group gets super, super close in situations like this. And I'm sure you'll see it throughout the game from the first pitch to the last pitch, and everybody's engaged and ready to go.
You've played in a lot of these games in the last 5-6 years. Like, what have you learned about what it takes to win them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Play free, have fun. Obviously every single pitch is important on the offensive side and defensive side, but, we got here for a reason. And I think for guys to continue to play the way we played.
Jesse.
Thinking back to game 2 against the Cardinals in 2020, obviously the home runs were huge, but what do you remember generally about sort of what it was like on the field in the dugout that night?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest difference was no fans, but which I'm sure with fans that game would have been pretty incredible. But no, I think it showed, obviously that group is very different from this group outside of a couple guys, but the resiliency and kind of what we were able, it's such a back and forth game and, not back and forth just late, but back and forth early, it was a big home run for them, big homer for us, big hit for them, big pitch for us. We ended up coming out on top. I think it was just, as we've seen and kind of what I answered AJ's question with, you saw the focus and the competitiveness from pitch 1 all the way until the end of that game.
Stay here on the right in the middle.
Dylan obviously has a unique ability out there on the mound. What sort of confidence does he give you guys as a team when he gets the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Dylan's repertoire speaks for itself, 97 to 100 and seemingly in big games, it seems to be 98 to 100 more often. And great slider, the ability to punch guys out, and kind of limit those big innings. So no, I think the confidence with him is through the roof. I think his ability to go out there and pound the zone today and keep those guys off balance and use his fastball is huge.
Jeff?
Is it your expectation that you will not see a righty in this game? And how does that change your pregame preparation, being part of that pocket of the lefties?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like I haven't seen a righty in the last 3 weeks. But no, I think it goes back to the preparation piece, kind of looking at who you're going to face, see how they operated yesterday, not just early in the game, but, when Boyd came out and how they kind of matched up against, those three there at the bottom. Just see what they got and, how they're going to move forward after Kittredge comes out of the game.
A few more for Jake. Sam on the back left.
Jake, a number of your teammates have talked about this group's ability to keep things level, even in the regular season. There were ups, there were downs, but you end up with 90 wins. What do you think it is about this group in particular where you guys, especially considering the situation today, can keep things kind of level no matter what the situation is?
Yeah, I think, I feel like we've talked about it the last few weeks. It's the experience of the group. I said it last night. I was talking to AJ, and it seems like every single guy that's on this team right now and in the starting lineup has been in a situation like this in the postseason. And we can look at the regular season too, the ups and downs, the super hot start to cool off, then another hot stretch, and then slow, and then finish those last two series really, really well. And I think it talks about the resiliency of the group, but more the experience. I think we look at it and look up and down the roster, and you got guys with 10 years, 12 years, 5 years, 7 years. And I think, the majority of the group can tap into that and, look in today and feel comfortable and calm and just play our game.
Anything else for Jake? All right, Jake, thanks for coming in. Good luck.
All right, that's our live press conference coverage brought to you by Trust and Will. And I thought one of the most telling comments there from Jake Cronenworth was, doesn't feel like he's seen a right-handed pitcher in 3
weeks. Yeah.
And clearly the Ramon Laureano injury is part of it. If Ramon Laureano is in the lineup, they the opposing manager, whoever it is, Craig Counsell or whoever the Padres are playing, if you've got like Laureano, Cronenworth, Fermin, you might want to bring in a righty there. And because Laureano's the most dangerous batter. And then Jake gets an opportunity to face righties. But with no Laureano, there's no reason to ever go to a righty. Even if you put Bryce Johnson in your lineup, you're not going to a righty there because Bryce is just switching over and batting. You switch hitter either way. Yep. So no matter what Mike Shildt does, I don't know that there's any way that he can get Ryan O'Hearn, Gavin Sheets, or Jake Cronenworth to face a right-handed pitcher.
Right.
Does he have? I don't think he has a lineup that gets them a left-handed or a right-handed pitcher.
No, I don't think so.
Right now.
I mean, yeah, other than
I just don't know that it exists.
Yeah, because you're not
even if he balanced it more, brought in Bryce Johnson, whatever he did, even if Jose Iglesias is in there, right, he's still going to bring in the lefties to face
but
the more dangerous lefty hitters down at the bottom of his order.
It is tough. It's a tough injury. A lot of teams have injuries this time of year. You have to figure out a way. But again, we saw how
I just don't know that there is a way. I mean, you have to figure out a way to win.
Yeah.
I don't know that there is a way to force the other manager to bring in a right-hander to face your left-handed hitters at the bottom of the order. None of them are going to do it.
Right.
And that's not going to change throughout the postseason.
Yeah.
They will have to face lefty after lefty after lefty. I don't know exactly the composition of,
for sure,
the bullpens the Padres could face if they keep winning, but there's no way around that for Mike Shildt, I don't believe.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't think they're, unless you want to play a guy. And again, I can't sit here and say you need to play your best players and then put a Camposano into DH today instead of Sheets.
That's a panic move. That's a panic move. Bryce Johnson is defensible because of, the defense, putting him out there and his switch hitting ability, and he's come through a bit. But leaving Gavin Sheets, is got to be a tough call.
And, I see, move Fermin up to the 8. I mean, are you panicked about bringing in a right-hander to face Freddie Fermin?
Are you moving your best OBP guy down to 9 to get the least at bats? I mean, you already have him at 8.
But if he's my
one
best,
of your best,
one of my best OBP guys, hitting him 9 isn't the worst idea. It's kind of that double leadoff once you get through, and then Toddy comes up and Arise comes up. I don't know, but yeah, it's certainly. Look, it leaves room for interpretation tomorrow if they lose the game. Certainly, there's definitely a crack there that you can look at and say.
Yeah, I mean, if they had done everything and switched everything the way exactly you wanted, it would still leave room for second guessing tomorrow if it didn't work out. There's no way to avoid that either.
Yeah, for sure. Or you could move Luis Ariz down in the lineup.
You could, and you'd still get second guessed for that if you lose the game. You will be second guessed for everything. Then it's a panic move. You did that for the first time in this game. What were you thinking?
To the 7.
What were you thinking? Finally doing it now. That feels like a panic move. The only way to not lose is to win.
Fermin is not a guy that's going to strike fear into Craig Counsell to have to bring in, a
lefties, righties, whatever. He had a nice hit yesterday.
Yep.
He puts together a decent at bat, but he's a 9-hitting catcher.
Yep.
That's what he is.
CN says I look sedated. I'm just in that mode of like getting a little bit. I was really nervous yesterday. Today, I'm not as nervous. I probably will be at game time. But yeah, I think I'm just tired of talking about it. Just want to get it on, ready to get it going.
I think what spins me out the most is knowing there could be one game left and there could be 21 games left for the San Diego Padres. There's a universe in which they still have 21 more of these to play.
Yeah.
And I got to gear myself up for 4 more weeks of playoff baseball. But I also have to prepare myself for the possibility that the offseason starts
tomorrow
in 6 hours.
Yeah.
In less than 6 hours.
Very difficult.
And I'm not ready for that either. I'm not ready for 4 weeks, and I'm not ready for 6 hours either.
How about a nice happy medium I'd settle on right now? But no, it's tough, dude. It is tough.
The player's mentality kind of has to be the fan mentality. Try to get to tomorrow. And then we'll deal with tomorrow when we get to tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what tomorrow's plan is. We don't even know when the game would be tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they win. We do not know when the game is. It could be at noon, it could be at 2, it could be at 3, it could be at 4:30.
Yeah.
And we won't know until after the Dodgers game is over tonight when the game would be tomorrow if they even win today's game.
I like
let's live in the moment is what I'm saying.
Yeah, live in the moment, but I do like the Dodgers to probably close that one out tonight
too.
based on last night.
It's Littell against
Yamamoto
in game 2. Littell's been a nice pickup for them at the trade deadline, but the Dodgers offense seems to be fairly locked in at the moment. The next game up in about 40 minutes is the Tigers at the Guardians. Casey Mize will try to close it out for the Tigers against Tanner Bybee on the mound for the Guardians. We talked about their lineup with the rookie making his major league debut in center field. What's his name
Chase
again?
DeLauder.
Chase DeLauder. Going to be batting 7th.
It would be like the Padres saying Ethan Salas is catching today. You're like, excuse me.
He's not that young, but yes.
But yeah.
It would be making your major league debut in a must-win playoff situation is wild.
It's wild, man.
Wild.
Good for him. I hope he rakes. I think that's so cool. Who's throwing for the Tigers?
Casey Mize. Yeah, well, after Tarek Skubal, it's a bit dicey for the Tigers and their rotation.
I think A.J. Hinch is probably licking his chops because this is what he loves to do. He loves to deploy his bullpen and find those lanes and exploit those lanes.
And then 3:08 is the Red Sox against the Yankees. Brian Bayo against Carlos Rodon.
Yep.
Must-win game, obviously, for the Yankees at home. That place will melt down if they get swept 2 in a row by the Boston Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are the better team. I mean, the Yankees, we said they rely on the home run.
Yeah.
Cubs kind of do too. They get more offense non-home run than the Yankees do, but they were fairly reliant on the home run. They got 2 solo shots. It was enough. The Yankees got 1 solo shot. It wasn't enough. It's such a risky game to rely on the home run as well. You feel like, I wish the Padres had those home run hitters, but the second they don't hit home runs for 3 days in a row, your season is over. And that happens to the Yankees all the time. But if they keep hitting home runs, they're very hard to beat. But you only get 1 solo shot. Now your season's on the brink. It's.
I would kill for a solo shot today. Can we hit a home run at Wrigley Field today?
Do you want Fernando Tatis Jr. to swing at the first pitch?
No, I don't. Unless he hits it out of the ballpark.
And then you'd be happy with it. I know. It's very unfair.
The real, it's you tell your kids this in Little League. Yeah, you want to steal third? Go ahead. You better make sure you make it. Do what you want to do, but you better make damn sure that you succeed, right? I think Schilt does that a lot. Do what you want to do. You better make sure it works. And I think, obviously in ball talk today, it's got to be something to the effect of, guys, you got to go out there and be as hungry as you can possibly be. But like Crony just said, you still have to be loose and you still have to play loose and have fun because it is fun at the end of the day. It doesn't feel fun for us, but it's fun. Like, go out there, you're in a playoff game, your back's against the wall. The thing is, you're going to have to make history, right? Because no No team that's ever lost the first game is advanced. I think it's possible. I think the Yankees can win too. I think the Padres can win too.
It's very short history.
Very short history.
The Padres did it in 2020. Jake was just talking about it. It just wasn't called the Wild Card Series that year, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
It can be done. It absolutely. The Padres did it 8 times this year. Went back and looked. 8 times this year they lost the first game of a series and came back to win the series. People dragged me for that tweet.
No, it's true.
It's just true.
It's true.
Now, 13 times they lost the first game of the series and didn't win a series. It's tough to do. I'm not saying that they guaranteed the win in the series by losing the first game. I'm just pointing out that about 40% of the time when the Padres lost the first game of the series, they came back to win the series. That's an actual really good percentage. You wouldn't expect to win that often. You'd only expect to win the series 20 to 25% of the time. They did it about 40% of the time. Much better than you would expect. So they were good at it this year. Doesn't make them favorites to win this series, but it does. I think in my mind, at least gives me some hope, if not faith, that they can still come back and win this series.
So he said Woods is calm because he knows it's over. Ben is hyper because he knows it's over. Maybe there's truth to that. I don't know. I do. Again, I don't know how much it would have affected my mood if I saw a different lineup today. Maybe a little bit, but again, Manny Machado needs to get hits. Fernando Tatis Jr. has to get hits. If they don't get hits, we're screwed.
But you're calm. I'm hyper. We'll find out what Sam Levit is. Heard him ask some questions in the news conferences. He will join us live from Wrigley Field in our final segment of Ben and Woods. That is coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Are you calm or hyper when you're sitting at a California-style blackjack table?
I'm a little jumpy. I'd say a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like messing with my face.
I play Texas Hold'em, and I try so hard not to give out any tells, but I know when I look and it's like ace, king, and it's like I know I give it away somehow. If you're a good player, you can see my tells.
There's no question that you have tells.
I have tells.
You probably hold your breath
I know.
the whole time.
I hold my breath. Or I stare too much, or I don't stare enough. I don't know. If you know my tells, come play with me. Tell me my tells.
Your hands start shaking a little bit. I get it.
When I get the good cards,
I get it.
Like
I'll raise.
I'll raise.
Oh, okay.
I'll fold.
I'll
That's
fold.
fine.
No, I get it. No, I do get that little charge sitting down at the California-style blackjack table. They got Texas Hold'em as well, as Ben mentioned. They got Pie Gal. They got Baccarat. They got great food, friendly dealer, smoke-free environment, slot machine-free environment as well. I don't like that clanging in my ears all day, so it's a great place. If you haven't checked it out yet, do yourself a favor.
Yeah, it's about as comfortable as I can get because it's nice. It's cozy. It's light. It's airy. It's everything that I've ever wanted in a card room. Check it out for yourself. Hop on the 5. Get off the freeway. You're on the west side, Bay Boulevard. It's right there, 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
This pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan, brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 11/1, plus save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's everyone's going to be looking at Dylan Cease to get 9 outs. I think maybe no more. But I think today, obviously, the biggest thing we want to talk about is the offense, the offensive ineptitude since game
three.
What? of the Dodgers series
third inning or whatever it was.
Last October. Outscored in the playoffs 13-1. Batting average 15 for 11, which is 135. 5 walks, 25 Ks. OBP of 172. Slugging, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 180. OPS of 352. Batting with runners in scoring position 2 for 18 with a 111 average. Manny Machado 1 for 12 for an 083 average. And Fernando Tatis Jr. 1 for 14 with an 071. Yeah, that sucks. That's the worst
we're talking
offense in
about
history.
4 games, not even quite 4 games. Like in the end of April, remember the Padres were red hot to start the season?
Yeah.
And they got to the end of April, they lost 6-0 to the Tigers, 1-0 to the Rays, 4-1 to the Rays, and 4-2 to the Rays. And then they went and won 6 games in a row and scored 7-5, 9, 4, 4, and 2. It does happen in a short span. I mean, you remember it because they're playoff games, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're not about to win 6 in a row as well and go on an offensive tear. We saw it this season. It does happen. At some point, they will start hitting in the playoffs. Will it be today or will it be
next year
when they get to the playoffs next year or in 4 years or whenever it is? Hopefully it's today because you got to wait so long for your next opportunity if it's not today. But, you can't – it's 3.5 games, 3.5 games of offensive failure. You can't really read too much into that. All right, we got Sammy Levit standing by at Wrigley Field. He's going to join us as we head into traffic, though. I want to give away one more pair of basketball tickets for the Nuggets Timberwolves preseason game at Pechanga Arena on October 4th. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com, but you can win them by being the 5th caller at 833-288-0973. Paulie will pick our winner during traffic, then we'll come back out with Sammy to wrap things up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring Water. Been kind of a busy morning here, guys. We're not quite over it yet. South 5 Coastline's got this accident just past Cannon. A couple vehicles involved. They're in the center divide. Also, westbound 56 just past Carmel Creek Road. There is a collision being cleared out of the fast lane. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, as we bring on Sammy from Wrigley Field. Yesterday, I totally botched the read of his sponsor open from David Shapiro, and he actually texted me saying I butchered that read yesterday. So I'm going to try to do a better job today as a postseason Sammy joins us live from Chicago.
Woods, isn't he supposed to be good at the nuts and bolts?
That's the thing. He's nuts and bolts guy.
Kind of the only reason we keep him around.
That's the only reason he's here
during the playoffs. All right, Sammy, brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro and his team, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Nailed it, Dave. Nailed it for you. And really glad to have you on board. And really glad to have Sammy back in his little tiny booth there at Wrigley Field. Good morning, Sammy.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. A little bit chillier here in Chicago today, although a very nice day, but it's certainly not quite as hot as it was the last couple of days. I'm looking out at the flags right now. I'll tell you what, it's really hard to even tell kind of, half hour by half hour, which direction the wind is blowing. It looked like it was blowing more across from right to left earlier, but now I'm looking and it kind of looks to me like it's more straight in like it was yesterday. So we'll see what direction the wind is going. Yesterday it was blowing in. Obviously the Cubs able to get a couple of balls through the wind for the home runs. But overall, a very nice day weather-wise here in Chicago once again.
Sammy, there's a lot of reasons why it's important for the San Diego Padres to strike first and strike often today. One of which is Dylan Cease is on the bump and has a propensity for potentially a big inning for the Cubs. But the other one is the shadows. The shadows were absolutely disgusting yesterday. When Palencia was pitching, I went, come on. He throws 100 miles an hour. How Manny even fouled a ball off is beyond me. But that's another real thing. Those shadows were disgusting. You don't want to get into position in the 6th or 7th again where you're chasing a run or two.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that the 2 home runs that came yesterday were right as the shadows crossed home plate. They weren't quite to the midway point between the mound and the plate. I don't know how many feet, I can't quite remember, but they were at the point where they had just crossed in front of home where, you kind of felt like there was an impact, right, where the ball was going from light to dark in the shadows. So, look, I would think, and I'm not the expert on hitting in the shadows, but I would think that, obviously both teams have to deal with it, and it is what it is. But I would say there's probably a little advantage to the Cubs because they play here so much and they play so many day games here. And they're remember, they play those 120 games all the time. So they are very used to dealing with that specific shadow around 3:30 and as it creeps towards the mound. So, look, you can certainly look at it as a little bit of an advantage for the Cubs playing here at home, as it seems, and hitters that are used to playing in this specific lighting and this, specific shadow between the mound and the plate. And yesterday they did get all their offense after the shadow started to take effect. So, does that mean anything today and hypothetically tomorrow? Maybe not, but it is something worth noting.
Sam, your reaction to Mike Schilt filling out the exact same lineup as yesterday, even knowing the bulk pitcher is going to be another left-hander in Shota Imanaga.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think we have seen with Mike, he is not quick to make changes, right? He will ride out experience and process over making very, very quick changes. Now, this is obviously very different in a postseason sense when you're facing elimination. So I wasn't surprised. I guess I understand, in a sense, keeping the top of the order the same. And he explained it out. Fernando hits righties fine. Manny hits righties fine. Luis is better against righties. Of course, if they wanted to, move another left-hander into that top 3, you can move Merrill up. Yeah, you could. I do understand it. I would also certainly understand getting another lefty up there and giving yourself the best chance, like you said, Woodsy, to strike early, because I agree with you that that's going to be really important. I think the part that surprises me a little bit is more the bottom with the trio of lefties, because yesterday I just thought you saw the issue, right? You knew you were going to get Boyd.
Yeah.
But then you had Pomeranz come in, and it was such a clear lane for Pomeranz, and it's lefty, 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 and all those guys faced were lefties, and there's a pretty good chance you could have that today again, where that trio only faces lefties. And to me, it wouldn't be so much of a big change, even just to adjust somebody. Like, could Fermin bat 8th and you break up that lefty trio? Could you switch? I want to make sure I get it right. Could you switch Xander and O'Hearn, and Xander's batting 6th? Just to break up those lefties a little bit so the lane isn't as clear. But, look, this has been the Padres this year, right? And I also thought the question, I thought Mike took the question as that he shouldn't have those lefties in there. Right. Like it should be Iglesias or Bryce Johnson in there over other guys. And I think the question was more so, would you consider just breaking them up?
Yeah.
So, look, I want Sheets to play. I want O'Hearn to play. I agree with that. They need the power. They need the thump. I really don't care facing elimination, lefty, righty. But, yeah, I would think they would have considered that, but they didn't. And I'm not surprised because typically Mike is a manager who trusts experience and process. And we're going to see if it works on a day where they're facing elimination.
Too late now. I liked Sam's idea of maybe switching Bogarts and O'Hearn. I know Xander, I don't want to drop him lower because he's put together good at-bats, but in the first inning, if you're putting together a rally that gets O'Hearn up 5th, does it force them to go to Imanaga right in the middle of an inning if they get to that spot? And then Xander could face a lot of lefties there. I mean, that's not the worst thing. Even if they're not bringing in a righty, then you're getting Xander, one of your hottest hitters, getting a lot of at-bats against lefties where he can do damage. I mean, Cow's already come home on that one. It's not changing the lineup for
Ben
today.
McDonald, all right.
But I did like that idea, Sam.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would consider something like that, just because and again, it's like I'm not saying anything that anybody in that clubhouse doesn't know. It just, yesterday to me, when you're watching it play out, it was like, that lane is so clear from a strategy standpoint for Craig Counsell, and just make it a little bit more difficult, but they're not. And guys, we're going to see how it plays out, right? I mean, look, is that if they lose today, or if they lose, this series, whether it's today or tomorrow, are we necessarily going to look at the lineup construction and say that's the reason why? I don't know. I keep coming back to this. Whoever is in that top three, and we'll point out again, it's going to be Tatis, Arraez, and Machado. Look, it's going to be very hard to win today's game if those guys go 0 again. Quite frankly, it's going to be a problem if that 6, 7, 8 trio, with how important O'Hearn, Sheets, and Cronenworth are, go 0 again. So, look, we'll see with Dylan Cease. Obviously, you have some level of concern there just because of the season he's had. He's also fully capable of going out there and giving you a really good start, or at the very least, getting through the lineup, to your point earlier, Woodsy, one time, and then you can deploy the bullpen with your backs up against the wall.
Which I think is the right strategy. No matter how it shakes out, I think it's the right strategy. That's the beauty of that move for Mike Schilt, is that win or lose, if Dylan Cease gets you through the order one time unscathed, and you go to the bullpen, not a soul alive. They shouldn't. Nobody in this city or in this fan base should say, "What are you doing? He's cruising." This is not a Tarek Skubal. This is not a Max Fried. This is not a Garrett Crochet. Not one person should, even if he goes 3 immaculate innings, put him on the bench and go to Miller and Morejon.
You also know that there will be plenty of people who still criticize taking him out.
There should not be one person, not one, unless we're up 5 runs, right? Fine, then let him go.
You see how the game plays out. Look, they got plenty good enough pitching yesterday to win that game. So,
yes,
we can talk about Cease, we can talk about the bullpen, but they have got to score. I mean, they have got to get these guys going and score. They need a little bit of everything. So it's going to be fascinating. We'll see how it plays out. Also for Craig Counsell, look, I think everybody here assumes that Imanaga is going to get some bulk here. He did not commit to that before the game. Why would he, though? Right? A manager typically is going to give you his exact plan. But it will be interesting to see how they go about it as well, because they've got a relatively fresh bullpen and they've got the same exact lineup to deal with. And if they have a lead, could you see Imanaga throwing a few innings and then they go to the same formula they did yesterday to go 14 up, 14 down? It's very possible.
Quick question. Your postseason, Sammy, are you also standby, Sammy? What happens if they lose today? Do you come home tomorrow? Are you there until Friday no matter what? How does that work for Sam Levit?
I will win or lose today. I will not go home today.
Okay. Well, not today.
So, yes.
Tomorrow,
You're not
possibly, or not
expensing
tomorrow? It's tough to change.
Yeah.
Expensive to change playing plans, though. So he may be cheaper just to stay and relax in Chicago for a couple days. We're hoping it's not going to come into play.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't come into play. Hopefully we're heading to Milwaukee. So I you know what, Ben? I'm not even going to sit here and entertain the idea of that. I'm thinking Milwaukee
or bus
until it's not Milwaukee.
You're walking home. If the Padres lose today, you're walking home to San Diego. Mud style.
Yeah. What was the Beastie Boys song? No sleep till Brooklyn. No sleep till Milwaukee.
All right, Sammy, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we will be talking to you tomorrow from Wrigley Field.
Yes.
Before Game 3.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. See you guys.
Sam Levit won't be at our viewing party today because he is in Chicago. I don't think he can get back in time for that. We will be at Park 101 watching Game 2 starting at noon today. Park 101, bi-level sports bar with a rooftop deck and huge screens, North County's best barbecue, craft cocktails, and giving away autographed baseballs and a Xander Bogaerts signed jersey, all presented by Estrella Jalisco Light Mexican Lager today at noon. Park 101, PRK 101, 3040 Carlsbad Boulevard in the Carlsbad Village.
Got to turn up today, Benjamin.
Yeah, there's really there's no escape hatch
tomorrow
for this one
unless you win.
The season is on the line for your San Diego Padres.
Mamacita.
And win or lose, we will be there for you tomorrow.
Correct.
I know that some people can't necessarily handle it. I will say this. The people who do join us after the tough losses generally are glad that they did.
Yep.
It's a good little therapy session for our community, and we'll be with you trying to entertain you and put a smile on your face one way or the other. But I will try to think optimistically, and hopefully we'll be heading to a Game 3 tomorrow, and Sammy will be headed to Milwaukee over the weekend still for the Padres in the division series against the Brewers. But we are here for you. We are a community, win or lose. We will remain Padres fans no matter what. We will have an honest and frank discussion, though, about whatever happens in Game 2 when we rejoin you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We're not done yet.
Said it a million times.
Minute or two.
Star's got a star.
Yeah.
It's on Manny. It's hugely on Manny. It's hugely
They know
on
how to
Fernando.
do it.
They do.
They know how to do it.
Of course.
I didn't see pressing yesterday necessarily.
I did. Thought he was pressing like a madman.
Yeah, maybe
Going out to get the
Tatis.
ball, like going out to get it
Yeah.
instead of. And then when he started letting it get deep, he got locked up on that pitch by Kittredge. It's like he was not locked in at all.
I
Not in the
didn't
zone.
hate Manny's early at bats, line drive,
I love
draw
his
the walk.
first AB
looked
was
I thought he
fantastic.
looked pretty comfortable
He
his
did.
first couple of ABs.
He did.
And then the shadows hit. Now I don't know
Well, and
exactly how to.
it's Palencia in the
Yeah.
shadows. Like I don't really blame him for that. I mean, he hit that first ball on the screws.
And he fought in that at bat too.
107 off the bat.
He fought in that at bat against Palencia as well. So
He did.
He
He did.
Yeah, Tatis needs to lock in for this one. Less jumpy, still aggressive. I mean, I think he was fired up to be there.
Oh,
We need
yeah.
too fired up, if anything.
Yeah, we need the, again, you need playoff Tatis that he's done it.
He's done it before.
He's done it
Many times.
Manny is not.
It's true.
Manny is not. You have a legacy that you need to rewrite right now, and you have opportunity to do it. I mean, all you have to do sounds easier said than done, is do what got you a $300 million deal. That's it. Not asking you for the moon. You don't have to be Shohei Ohtani. You have to come in and pitch. Do what got you your big
All
deal.
your 9-figure players.
Right.
Yeah.
All
Go-
the
go out
9-figure
and get it
players.
done today.
Go out and earn
Plenty
your
to
9
choose from.
figures. That's it. That's it.
Getting to the playoffs is nice, but you know what we want as fans? We want playoff wins. We will find
Come
out.
on, please.
Let's
In just a couple of
please.
hours. We'll see you out at Park 101. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
If I'm a jerk at Park 101, I
Yeah,
apologize.
same for me. I won't be a jerk, but I will be tense. For Woodsy, for Paul, I'm Ben. Go Padres. Talk to you tomorrow morning on The Fan.